Was there something in my walk, how I talk, giving off the wrong energy? Was there something in my stride, too much pride, telling you to back down? Slowly, slowly you became my enemy. But you can't seem to get enough of me. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all.
Intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barr FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas.
Get your foot there. He's got it. He's got it. Right there. No.
Canvas is in. FTF.GG welcomes you to the Barr FTF Cup Series, live from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. Tonight, it's the FTF.GG World 600K. 43 drivers, 44 drivers that is, ready to go. From the, what it used to be called, Beast of the Southeast, here in Charlotte. Let's get to our starting lineup for tonight's race. Couple of changes right away. So, first off, your pole sitter is Wyatt Tinsley. He will not start in position 1. Because of the crash at Gateway a couple of weeks ago, the FTF admins ruled that what he did kind of sort of was on purpose, coming back up in front of the field. So, he's been given basically the Michael P. Frisch penalty. He's starting this race from the pit lane. So he will not start on the front row. The front row, realistically, Buttafuoco and Parker White. Nonetheless, the rest of your top 10, Brian Mercurio, Brandon Hawken, Michael Guest. Frisch, he's also going to start from the pits tonight. Would have started 7th. Brian LaPrade, Kevin King, Juan Jimenez. Rounding out the top 10. Looking through the rest of the order, Ryan Doucette, he's taken a couple of weeks off. He's done some real-life racing. He's back with us tonight, starting 11th. Sean Butler to the outside. Jonathan Oshalin, Blake Bryant there in row 7. Nate Stewart, Johan Seminario in row 8. Cosmin Aoneshu, Jackson Carr, then Spencer Ray, and Aaron Riolo in the 048 for Sebastian Marin. Alex Kalnix, Hamilton Akabuze there in row 11. Santiago Tires makes a start tonight. Kevin McAdams to the outside. Scott Healy, Isaac Gann make their return tonight. David Cabrera, Nick Miller, AJ Green, Dylan Basin back there. Rounding out the top 30, Basin already has a win this year. Chris Wetz, Lucas Plessel back here. Jack Mace, Lawson Peel. Spencer Burns, the last driver to make it in on time. Everybody else made it in through provisionals. Ethan Corder in the seat of the 66. There's no Blake Reynolds tonight. Corder took the owner points. He gets the spot. Zwack, Falkingham, Pandicio in the 1 for Seth Knoll. David L. Brown, your final 4. Now, Rocky Malillo, Malik Ray, and Andy Margot, your sponsor provisional for tonight's race. Jacob Pitts here with you. Caleb Hoffman will join us here in a second, fashionably late. But here nonetheless, as the field makes their way down the back straightaway, half a lap to green. Parker White with nearly a 600-point margin over second place Michael P. Frisch in the points. Coming into tonight, a 3-time winner, has 11 and a half stage wins this year, trying to keep the momentum going for Buttafuoco in the top 5 in points solidly, trying to find his first career Barr Visual FTF Cup Series win. We'll see if it comes here tonight after a long 600 kilometers at Charlotte. Michael Guest, your winner here a season ago. We'll find out which driver heads to victory lane tonight. The pace car heads to pit road. Buttafuoco and Parker White on the front row. Glad you're watching. Green flag, the World 600K is underway. Off turn 4, trouble! Ryan Doucette around! Into Brian LaPrade! Multiple cars piled up at the start-finish line. Doucette was the first car sideways. Cosman, Spencer Ray, Alex Kolonix all involved in a multi-car crash off of turn number 4. The 077 of Ryan Doucette was the first car sideways, and from there on, it's mayhem. A 2-time winner this year in Ryan Doucette brings out the first caution. We'll get a replay. You already see him sideways in front of the field. We'll try again with another angle. But with Doucette, watch on 077, he dips the tires below the line and it just gets loose. May have caught a bit of the apron. LaPrade, I think, just touched the back end of him. And big damage for LaPrade, up and into the wall. His hood comes flying off and gets kicked around by the field. LaPrade's going to be done for this race. His first start in a couple of races, and he's out in a lap. Another angle.
And as you said, there are a couple of hard hits in here. I feel like there are going to be a few guys whose days are just completely derailed already.
No fast repairs. We're out on board with Kolonix. Blake Bryant involved. There you see the 048 of Riolo get a piece. Probably close to a dozen cars involved in this lap 1 crash. Oh, man, and stacking up coming to pit road, Spencer Burns, I think, got into the back of Chris Wetz. Yes, he did. At least Netcode got him if they didn't actually make contact. Always got to be paying attention. Well, maybe he didn't hit him. Watch the green car here, the 71. They're all checking up to come to pit road. And the white and pink car enters from the top, the Ford.
I don't know if they made contact there.
It looks like they made contact. If they did, it was netcode, though, because they barely missed each other. But it certainly looked like there was contact registered the way both cars kind of bobbled as they went by each other. Nonetheless,
yeah, there was some register there.
AJ Green given a cause, given a secondary for the crash. I don't know, maybe if we could take a look and see exactly what happened with the 01 machine. Cause to the 077 as expected. But I'm curious to see here exactly what AJ Green may have done in this. Here he is, back here, the white and seafoam green car. Let's see. Bam, that's Kevin. And all right. Well, there you have it. So he'll go to the back as well as Ryan Doucette if his car is drivable. LaPrade had to tow. His car's done. Kolinix is sitting on the pit road right now. He's gone a lap down. A lot of damage to his car. Everybody else able to get back onto the racetrack. So, and LaPrade is already disconnected. He's done for tonight. Let's take a look at our race analysis for tonight's race. While we're here, just under 600 kilometers. That's close enough if you round up. We do have 4 stages, though. And a lap 60, and a lap 120, and a lap 180, and the checkered flag. 9 sets of tires in the pits. Not many drivers elected to take them here. And a fuel limit of 70%, so they can't quite fill these things all the way. White and Buttafuoco on the front row. We're back to green on lap 5.
Good launch there by Parker White, who got swept the stages last week at Gateway.
That would have been 2 weeks ago. Oh, trouble in the wall off turn 2. One of them's Kevin. The other is, no, I'm sorry. That's no trouble. More trouble now as Plessel gets turned around by Malik Ray. It was Nalraki that he made contact with in the middle of turn 1 and 2. And Malik Ray trying to sneak his way from the back. Gets up into the wall, and then Lucas Plessel's an innocent bystander there and gets turned down the back stretch. Caution's out for the second time tonight, and we've only completed really 1 lap under green. Not even the whole field got to complete that lap. Let's take a look at what happened between the 37 and 007. Got the wrong patriotic car there, so not Kevin. He's going to be behind all this. There's the contact, and there's Plessel around. So we'll try it all again. And I'm not quite sure, Caleb, if the 007 came down into the 37 and that's what sent him there, or if Nalraki slid up and that's what caused the contact.
From that view, it looked like the 37 had lost the nose. Maybe it just got tight, and then Malik Ray was there, and again, not really much you can do at that point.
Might need an onboard.
Yeah, some alternate angles here to dissect if there was contact that led up to that.
Here we go. See, he hits him the first time. He hits him, that gets him loose, and then he comes back up the track. No cause, though, racing deal between the 007 and the 45, since that was the cause of the caution itself, not the contact between the 37 and the 007. By the way, shout out to the wrong spec map on that car. Parker White is still your race leader. Early in this one under our second caution flag of the night.
Absolutely, and I mean, right now everybody's just kind of got to settle down a little bit. This is one of the longest races of the season. 246 laps here at Charlotte. I mean, no reason on lap 1 and lap 7 to be going too crazy here.
This is correct. Alrighty, so... Oh, that's good. Chris Wetz reports that the crew changed the tires despite the tires being unchecked in the black box. So he uses a set of tires that he did not want to and will probably love to have at some point later in the race. So, trouble for Chris Wetz. Jake Pullen writes in, helpful tonight. We're in the running for longest FTF race ever. Keep it up. If you're listening, Jake, I'd love to know what that number is, so that way I know if we hit it or not. I know the caution record's like close to 40 because of Martinsville, but I'd love to know what the time record is. I know we set the physical distance in the Barr Visual 500 earlier this year at Daytona, where we went 212 laps, which is a little over 500 miles.
Yeah, wouldn't that be around 525 somewhere in there, miles long?
I wasn't going to do the math, so I was going to let somebody else do it.
Proven,
so if they were wrong, we can make fun of them.
We've never really been too good at that here.
Yeah, nope.
just a rough approximation, but either way, again, it's so interesting with no fast repairs here. You really have to take care of your car, and already we've had multiple incidents with some pretty bad impact so far in both of them. So again, on this restart, I'm interested to see if we see a little more apprehension from the field, maybe a little more laid back, just try to click off some laps for now, or if we continue the pace that we've been on, which, as Jake Poulin said, again, longest FTF race in history.
One lap to green. Last year's broadcast from start to finish ran a little under 3.5 hours. If we could not hit that tonight, that would be fantastic.
We will see. It's Oh man.
Want to welcome those in that may have flipped away from Flow Racing. Great finish tonight at Dominion with the car store. Bobby McCarty coming away with the win after Brandon Queen and Carson Quapple went wrestling for it a couple times and allowed McCarty to slip by 3 wide on the inside, get the job done. Our own Blake McCandless on the call. James Pike down in the pit lane. Great work by the crew. Hopefully we have a solid finish like they did tonight. Even if our finish may not be until tomorrow morning. Parker White and Danny Matafuka on the front row. We're about to complete 9 laps. We have completed one of them under green. It's been a rough start. Remember, the stage ends at the end of lap 60. Thankfully, no cautions thrown at the end of those stages. White and Matafuka on the front row. Great launch from the 011. We're back to green.
Matafuka trying to block Bakken. He'll successfully do that. And again, Parker White with a great launch. And right now, through the back of the field, there is no shortage of aggression on moves right now. For the most part, everybody seems to be okay right now.
Just right around. Should be the name of the game, at least for the time being. Let the tires maybe get some heat in them. I'm sure they're like driving on ice blocks around the racetrack. 10 laps complete. We finished yet another under the green flag. Side by side for third. Mercurio on the outside. Brandon Hawken on the inside. Trouble. Matthew Zwack around. Back straightaway. Caution's out.
Oh, and Chris Wetz.
Oh, man. And Cosman around. This track isn't all that wide, and some drivers found it out the hard way here. After Matthew Zwack goes around, brings down our third caution flag. And this one, Caleb looks like he had some assistance with some traffic in front. That being one Johan Semedario in the 56. Watch him on the left-hand side. Gets loose, and wham, up the racetrack, kicks that 7 sideways. Then everybody has to avoid. You see the 01 of AJ Green hook up to the outside. Well, I think he was just trying to avoid. He's parked the car.
Yeah, you'll see this car will just snap around on him. He gets it straight, and then kind of an inconvenient pan there because he snaps it right as he's out of frame, but he gets the car back collected, and then it just snaps around on him, and that results.
Yikes. Well, we're not off to a good start, but it's a start nonetheless. 12 laps are complete. This could be the longest night in a while. Parker White leads. We're back after this here on FTF.gg. Back here from Charlotte, we're under our third caution already. Parker White, your leader. We will have 15 laps complete when we get the restart. We should get 1 to green. This time by. So, we having fun yet?
Feels like 05 over here, Jacob.
I've had 22 cautions and
we're on pace for
almost,
a lot more.
yeah, almost 150 more laps to that race too. It's a good thing they did not have, well, they did have overtime back then, I think, but only 1 attempt. Yes, they definitely did because they had to use it in the 500 that year, so. But 1 to green here. In other sport news, because I'm already out of things to talk about, not expecting us to have 3 cautions in 10 laps. In the AHL, because the NHL's already done, the Calder Cup finals are a thing. Coachella Valley and Hershey in Game 5, series tied at 2 apiece. Scoreless game. They are in overtime right now in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Trying to break the tie, win the game before they go back out west to Coachella Valley for at least a Game 6 and perhaps a Game 7. Half a lap to green. Let's take a look at points, if we can. Just since I talked about earlier, the huge lead that Parker White has in point. You don't see the point number, but Frisch is second in overall points. You see him 9th there because he's the first guy without a win. Parker White has 2,717 points. That's a huge gap over Frisch, yeah. First and second. But you see everybody right now that has a win and is locked in. Now, Malik Ray is questionable, and here's why. You need to have at least 20 starts by the time we get to race 26, which is Daytona. Right now, Malik Ray has already missed 4 races without attempting to start. Those attempts count as, oh man, a horrible restart for Buttafuoco. The outside line checks up. We're back to green. But Malik Ray only has 2 more starts that he can miss before he's going to have to point his way in, and he wouldn't be able to rely on that win. He also has to stay in the top 25 in points. Right now, he sits 22nd. If he drops out of that top 25, he's going to have to point his way in or get back into the top 25 for that win to count. 16 laps complete. Parker White, your leader. Side by side for the back half of the top 10, you got Ashlim, Jimenez there, David Cabrera, Sean Butler in a pack.
Got to watch out for this middle of the pack. This is really where those wrecks have been developing right now. We have a 3-wide group that's just going to clear up with Kevin McAdams, Jack Mace, Scott Healy all involved. Looks like for now we'll...
Oh, man, Nate Stewart really loose off turn 4. Ashlim has to turn dead left to avoid him. Now Cabrera's going to go to the inside. That 4 was all over the place coming off turn number 4. Great catch, though, for Stewart. He loses a couple of spots, falls back to 10.
Oh, another close call in the back. Ethan Quarter with Matthews Whack almost found themselves involved in a little bit of an incident there. They get it cleared up right now, but still hornet's nest back here.
Laps complete. Long way to go. Not even a third of the way through stage number 1. Already had 3 cautions. You see that 66 up on the outside of the racetrack. Again, that's Ethan Quarter, not Blake Reynolds behind the wheel. Reynolds couldn't make it, so we needed a driver to take over for as far as owner points are concerned. Blake has a win already, so he doesn't necessarily need to worry about that. Plus, he could use a last place provisional if he has to, and I would imagine he will. So allows Quarter to get behind the wheel of that 66 for tonight.
A nice opportunity for him. Oh, looking through right now, Michael Guest just threw a block on Jonathan Oshlam. And this middle to high lane right now, it's already proving to be viable at the moment. Not seeing any progression really, but lots of guys that are able to retain their positions at least. That's going to be something to keep an eye on as we go through the night.
Half a second of a gap between Parker White and Brian Mercurio. Nice battle for ninth between Oshland there and Butler. You see 45 just in front. That's Michael Guest. Really in the 9. Oh, just like that, he appears in the 9. Meanwhile, Spencer Burns to the outside of Kevin King. This is for third on the racetrack. Kevin King in the Ghost car. And right now doesn't have Spencer Burns seeing ghosts. Around the outside he goes.
And another guy I've been keeping my eye on right now, Michael P. Frisch, who sits in the 20th position right now. And, you know, sitting second in points without a win right now, he's got to be feeling some type of urgency to get up to the front here. And I know it's a super long race. He has plenty of time to do that. But watching Parker White right now, again, with almost a half a second lead right now, cannot feel good for that 58.
Parker White, I mean, he's had speed everywhere we've gone. Since the opening weekend at Daytona, he has been fast, and I think that's part of the factor why he has so many stage wins. Already has 3 wins on the year, and has a monstrous point lead. I'm sorry, 4 wins on the year for Parker White. Leads the series by a good bit. Brian Mercurio trying to chase him down. Mercurio has yet to go to victory lane. Has a couple of top 5 finishes, 6 of them. Been on the podium 3 times. Richmond, Bristol Dirt, and Dover.
And last week as well at Road America was a big turning point for Parker White as well, I feel like, where a lot of his championship contenders, everybody up there, top 5 in points, kind of struggled a little bit. He was well inside the podium all day. And I mean, looking around him, Frisch came home with an 11th. Mercurio was 20th after some controversy about the pit lane after running well. Budafuco came home inside the top 10, and then Kevin King with a respectable 5th place finish. But again, he's just been able to distance himself all year, and again, I think that's where the buffer's really been built.
Things have calmed down throughout the field, at least for the time being. You see this nice little pack back here. That's David L. Brown in the 83. You've got Falkingham in there, Kevin McAdams, and Juan Jimenez there on the bottom of the racetrack in the 02.
I mean, this is good right now from everybody. Just riding around at the moment, not much, just give and take right now. It's so early on in this race. One position's not really going to make or break your race at this point. Now, 200 laps from now, probably a different story, but it's early.
This is true. Plenty of race to go. Still focused in on this battle. This is outside the top 15. Got Michael P. Frisch and Wyatt Tinsley. You see there at the center of your screen trying to make their way through. Remember, they started from the pit lane. They obviously didn't lose a ton because of the crash at the end of lap number 1. You saw the 48 of Riolo there just scrape the wall off turn 4, but keeps his foot in it. May lose those 2 spots, but other than that, none worse for wear. You're right on board out the back of Frisch.
On the contrary, I think Riolo actually might get this pass done. He was forced up into that outside lane, but with that momentum, he's actually past Wyatt Tinsley right now. Has to wait for Nate Stewart, who's up in front of him. That's going to open the door back up for Tinsley. But this outside lane has a fair bit of momentum right now if he can just get around Nate Stewart.
Going to try it. 29 laps complete. Still a long way to go. We'll say that, I'm sure. A lot more the rest of the way. Here comes Frisch, though, to the inside of Tinsley. You see Jack Mace looking to the inside of the 4 of Nate Stewart as Riolo drops to the bottom.
I'm trying to decide, what does this say on Riolo's car? He's got a big block of text on the hood. It says he forgot to send me the paint, and I assume that's talking about Sebastian Marin, who he's filling in for tonight.
Somebody. Meanwhile, for the lead, here comes Brian Mercurio to the inside of your race leader, Parker White. Race leader no more. Dr. Bob to the front.
Yeah, big for Mercurio here. Again, last week had some controversy with the pit lane opening, closing. Kind of messed with his strategy and gave him a worse finish than he probably deserved, because he was running inside the top 5. A ton of speed and a chance for him to kind of garner some of the momentum back right here. Good pass on Parker White.
So Mercurio will try and scoot away. Mercurio looking at the rest of the mile and a halves that we've been to this year. 9th at Las Vegas. 5th at Texas. I'm not going to count Atlanta. 4th at Kansas. And now here we are at Charlotte, and he has been really, really speedy. Look at Parker White's numbers. 1st at Las Vegas. Rotten race at Texas, finished 40th. And then one at Kansas. So he's batting a good 66% on these mile and a half so far. And he has been very, very strong. Meanwhile, back to Frisch back here for 15th. He's got Nate Stewart to the outside. Riolo's now behind him. And he's got the 064 just in front of him of Scott Healy.
Yeah, and look at Nate Stewart on that outside. Just so much momentum up there. Good move from Tinsley here. He's going to make it 3 wide.
That's bold. And Healy says, yeah, you know what? I'm going to back out of that. Healy making his second start, his 4th attempt. He missed Dega in Las Vegas. He made the race at Auto Club, finished 34th.
Yeah, that was a fun move from Wyatt Tinsley there. Frisch had a fair bit of wiggle going on in turn 3, and they get it sorted out. Oh, big block from Jack Mace on Nate Stewart there. That was almost some trouble.
A little early to be doing that. We're just past halfway in stage number 1. Again, stage 1 ends at the end of lap 60. Oh, hang on to it now! Into the wall! Goes the 4 of Nate Stewart coming back down the racetrack. Will everybody avoid him in the quad oval? Yes. Caution's out for the 4th time, and Nate Stewart says, that was all you, dude. A lot of damage for car number 4. And caution's out once again.
We'll get a replay right here, and I am not entirely sure here.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on this either. I think both cars were just out of control. There was more net code than anything that got that 4 sideways. They still would have hit. But they were both sideways. The 4 more than the 107. 107 had to turn a little bit more off the wall. And Stewart tried to catch it and unfortunately caught the door of the 107. A little bit of damage for Tinsley there on the left front.
I think it's a good call by Race Control, calling it a racing deal here. I mean, again, both of them are sideways coming off the corner, and looking back in depth at this, again, both cars out of control, and I think contact was just kind of inevitable for them. Nothing really either of them could have done, except maybe Nate Stewart slams on the brakes, and even then that's going to check up everybody else behind him. So
pit stops.
Do you use your first set of tires here, Jake? Oh, Sean Butler's
I think you
gonna
have
get
to.
turned.
Oh, the Bears win! Sorry.
Yeah?
Watching the AHL game, oh no, Sean. He's got to back up. The Hershey Bears, I mentioned them earlier. They win in overtime. I don't know who scored the winning goal, but somebody just did. They're going back to Coachella Valley with a 3-2 lead in the series. Oh, my. All right, I'm ready to call the rest of this race now. Mercurio wins the race off pit road. We did have 2 stay out. Chris Wetz, rather 3 stay out. No, just 2. Wetz, quarter. Cabrera missed his box. Meanwhile, let's see what happened to Sean because I missed it.
He and Guest get together a little bit, and you'll see here on the replay. Just checking up. And you see how close Guest is right here. So Sean basically just, I don't think he has a chance, really.
All right. Well, Cabrera makes his way to pit road after missing his box the first timer. Chris Wetz is your race leader. And Caleb, who do we want to talk to under our 4th caution flag of the night?
I do want to ask Sean real fast. What was going on pit lane there? You and Guest get together.
I guess, I don't know. I was looking for my stall because we couldn't really tell where we were. And I don't know. I guess Guest was looking for his, and then he kind of pulled alongside me, and my stall came up, and I guess it was before his, and I had to try to pull in, and he was there, and he just turned me. So it's not a big deal. I mean, it's really early, but, you know, it's just one of those deals where hopefully this doesn't lead to me getting involved in something, but history has shown it will, but we'll see. But, I mean, car is fine, you know, just put new tires on it, so it's all good, so.
And no damage so far. We've seen a few incidents already today. Are you expecting, you know, everybody to kind of settle down as we get into the run here? Or do you think, you know, coming to the end of the stage that we'll have some more chaos?
I hope so. I mean, you know, it's the beginning of this race has shown it's just been just wreck after wreck. So had a little bit of a run there. Hopefully everyone can see what the car does during the run, and we can, you know, act accordingly, but we'll see. We got a long way to go and a lot more cars to potentially tear up. So I don't think we're done by a long shot.
Well, thank you for your time. Good luck, and hopefully we get to talk to you a little later on.
Yes, with the car intact. Fingers crossed.
That's Sean Butler.
Now, I don't think we mentioned this, but they are going to send the 9 of Michael Guest to the back for the contact on the pit lane. Chris Wetz hit the cone on purpose. He was having connection issues there the second half of that pace lap. So he hit the cone on purpose so he could drop to the tail of the field and not be in the way of anybody with that connection problem. That'll put Ethan Quarter on the outside of the front row on old tires. Brian Mercurio on the front row with new tires. We'll have 20 to go in the stage when we get the restart.
Yeah, this will be a fun one for sure. You see Parker White starting right behind Ethan Quarter on old tires here, and if I believe if everything lines up right, I think Ethan Quarter's probably going to get eaten alive here, so that'll be interesting to see on this restart.
Yeah, he pitted a couple of cautions ago. He's in for a rude awakening. 20 to go in stage 1 on the restart. Back to green.
Oh, and Parker White's going to make it 3 wide here. This is going to get interesting.
This will be dicey. There'll be 3 wide behind as well, as Quarter does not have the speed on the older tires. Mercurio clear for the lead. Almost contact, though. Between Buttafuoco and Quarter, they sort it out. Here comes Kevin King for second, headed back to turn number 3.
Parker White has to shove his way in line, gets Buttafuoco stacked up just a little bit, and watch out. In the back, guys running, double 3 wide. They're still going to have to negotiate a way around Ethan Quarter here once they catch him.
There are a lot of cars still up on the outside of the racetrack. Could be a rude awakening once they get to that 66. Where are they going to go to get by him? They could go 3 wide if they have to. Here comes the 099, Brandon Hawkins to the bottom. Spencer Burns will follow. That black number 12, that's Lawson Peel. On the inside as well, you've got Fresh side-by-side with Jack Mace. Right behind, we saw these guys side-by-side a little further back earlier. And now here they are trying to push their way to the front as a car off the pace. That's the 55 rather of Jackson Carr. Not sure what happened to Carr. It was contact, it looks like, between him and Ryan Doucette. Actually, separate instances there. Sean Butler got into the back of the car, got him loose. Meanwhile, before that, the 77 turned down in, got loose, net-coated off the 55, and got up and into the wall. There you see the 13 now in second place. That's Daniel Botafuco.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Isaac Gann, David L. Brown on the backstretch. They keep it straight, but, man, another close call here. Even more, I think Spencer Burns got super loose and stacked a bunch of guys up.
Man. 3 wide. Oh, look out. Sean gets tipped around. Michael Guest. Zwack.
Oh, man.
Oh, the apron for Sean. You can't drive down there. There's no grip. They sort it out, and we stay under green as Nate Stewart has parked the car. He's done for the night.
Yeah, it was a great job by Sean there to somehow save that car on the apron, and almost didn't have his wish come true of keeping a clean car here, as they're going to make it 3 wide once again. He, Cosman, and Michael Guest.
Pandemonium here at Charlotte. 15 to go in the stage, 14 to go this time by. Great battle toward the front. Fresh around the outside.
Oh, trouble in the back. One car just spins around in the tri-oval after some contact.
Caution's
Spencer
out.
Ray.
Pandicio as well. And it started with Spencer Ray, and I mean, what? This is a funky looking accident here. It starts with the 6. Gets us the apron and just overcorrects it and can't bring it back the other way, and takes a hard shot to the outside wall and bounces down into Pandicio with nowhere to go. And the caution's out again.
Yeah, and again, that's strange there. Spencer Ray is going to be done for the day, takes the car behind the wall.
Caution number 5. For those of you at home keeping score, Spencer Ray, yeah, as you mentioned, he's done. So that joins the scrap lot of LaPrade, Colonix, AJ Green, Seminario, Stewart, and now Spencer Ray. We'll have less than 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Now for Spencer Ray, his rec score is going to be at 0 going into next week at Nashville Super Speedway. Ethan Quarter will come onto pit road. Yeah. So, we'll step aside and go to a break. We'll finish the stage eventually. Brian Mercurio, currently your leader. Welcome back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get a restart inside, 10 laps to go in stage number 1 of 4. It's a long night. Take a look at the weather, see how everything looks. We are doing the traditional day to night, so the track will only get cooler from here. Right now it's 7:42 in sim. Lights are out on the pace car. We get the 1 to green.
And those corner speeds are just going to get higher. I think throughout the night, you're going to see, as the track gets cooler, this high line come in more and more. And we've already started to see it a little bit. But expect that to become borderline dominant as again, the track gets cooler here tonight.
See the choose zone. Glad to have everybody in tonight. Watching the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series. Let's take a look ahead at what's upcoming quickly. Winstall is live tomorrow from Chicagoland. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern. The Core Summer Series from Kansas on Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. I'll be live at the pre-race show at about 8:45. James Pike and Caleb will take you to race 1. We're back at Nashville a week from tonight. We're back to green, though, with 9 laps to go in stage number 1 from Charlotte.
Parker White going to bail in the outside lane. Following suit with Brian Mercurio here as they come off 2.
First side-by-side battle outside the top 5. Frisch, Lawson Peel. Here comes Jack Mace 3 wide. David L. Brown. Frisch gets away. It's Riolo and Peel side-by-side for now. 7th and 8th. Good run for that 048. Usually Marin's behind the wheel. Has a win at Talladega. Locked into the playoffs. Gives Riolo a chance and lets that 48 continue to collect some owner points. Meanwhile, just up the road, here comes Kevin King on the 06. That's a burn.
Oh, and almost a little bit of contact there.
Trouble behind. Around goes Michael Guest. Jonathan Oshlam around. Scott Healy's around. Cosman is slow. I think he may have avoided it at least. Michael Frisch says, "You guys suck." And I don't think many drivers would disagree right about now. Caution number 6 in stage 1. There's the contact. 3 wide, and Cosman does get a piece of it. Takes the back end of Oshlam straight off the nose. And it starts with Oshlam there catching the apron, getting him out of shape. Watch that yellow car, bam, right there, back at the racetrack. Everybody else avoids him. But a lot of damage for Cosman.
And that is an interesting wreck for sure. It's just difficult because this track is so narrow, and you're seeing 3 different viable lines, and when you get grouped like that together, one little mishap like you saw with Oshlam tagging the apron a little bit can cause what we just saw there.
Should get a restart here to finish the stage. Some folks trying to fake out the pit, but that ain't gonna work. Five to go on the stage. Called a racing deal here.
And again, I think that's fair. But we'll have a heck of a race for the stage win here, I think. Parker White's going to be hungry to continue his conquest. Brandon Hawken has had speed all night. Spencer Burns as well. We've seen Kevin King up here. Shout out to Michael P. Frisch, again, was running P21 earlier, has worked his way all the way up inside of the top 5 right now. Or top 6.
Let's talk to somebody.
Good idea. Do we have a... Roll through, try to find him. Oh, Brian Mercurio, but we'll try to get second place here. Parker White coming to the end of the stage. You got anything up your sleeve to get around this 41 car?
Well, on lap 1 of the restart, it's quite loose as a leader, so I think my plan here would be to just try to get a run off of turn 2 and try to go for the inside. Either that or just try to get an even launch on the restart, and that should give me a good chance at the stage win here.
You got a general plan as well for this race? It's shaping up to be the 6 hours of Charlotte?
Yeah, my field calculator says I can make it just barely on, I don't know, like a 3 or 4 stop, so I'm going to try to go for that. But we're going to get so many more cautions it won't even matter, so just trying to stay up front and trying to stay out of the wrecks is going to be the big thing here.
And it's looking like this is going to be one of the final double file restarts of the day. Do you think that really changes your outlook, the future?
Yeah, with single file restarts, you don't want to end up further back in the pack. So when we do end up going to single file, then that's when track position is going to be key, because we're going to have to make up twice the amount of ground if it's single file and if it's double. So if we do end up position as single file, then I'm going to start prioritizing the track position. So that'll be interesting.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll let you get back to it here, and good luck for the rest of this one.
Good, thank you.
Parker White, Jacob, and again, getting close here to the end of this stage. And if we move to single file restarts, which if precedent holds true, we probably will be. I think that is going to throw a major wrench in for these guys, because again, a lot of these incidents we've been seeing have been because of double wide, 3 wide racing throughout this pack, and should calm us down a little bit.
You say that, but has double file restarts been the cause of any of these cautions that we've seen?
It hasn't been the cause, but unfortunately, I think it works more often than not.
I will once again petition for us to get as far away from these stupid race cars as humanly possible.
Yeah, bring back the Gen 6.
Xfinity or Gen 4 or something. I can't do this anymore, man. Oh boy. Well, you can pass when we do double file restarts. When we do single file restarts, nobody can pass, but then nobody wrecks. That's the part that drives me nuts. You put them in any other race car, they'll be able to pass, and they'll be able to wreck. And it's not the admin's fault. I mean, they can't control the fact that this car is a turd. You know? Whatever. Mercurio and Parker White in a 2-lap dash for stage 1, green flag.
Yeah, Parker White right now, you heard him talk about how loose it was on the first lap here, and he said he was going to try to make a move off 2, so we'll see if he holds true to that. He does have a little bit of a run, not quite going to be in position, but coming down the backstretch here, expect to see him go inside.
We went to block. But White gets to the inside, side by side for the lead. Coming to the last lap in stage 1, Mercurio holds strong up on the outside, up by the wall. 1 lap to go in stage 1 at Charlotte. Parker White looking for his 12th stage win, 12th and a half stage win of 2022. Mercurio looking for a second. They're dead even off 2.
Mercurio's going to get a run here. If Parker White can retain, though, he's going to have a shot going into turn number 3.
Here we go. White washes up the racetrack. Can Mercurio hold it down? They're both loose. Parker White's going to do it. He wins stage 1 by a nose over Brian Mercurio. Brandon Hawken finishes 3rd. Kevin King 4th. Michael P. Fresh 5th. How about Aaron Riolo getting in the top 10, getting some stage points, as well as Spencer Burns. And now Mercurio will pull away after Kevin King. No, Parker White picks up his 12th and a half stage victory of 2023.
And some fun battling there. You see, as soon as he wins that stage, just going to subside, run back behind Mercurio. We'll see if he opts to go to the inside. No, a little more apprehension now that we are officially in stage number 2. And seeing that really throughout the field right now. Jack Mace, Aaron Riola are really the only 2 that are up on that outside lane. Everybody else just sticking in line for right now, it seems.
Oh man, that inside line checked up in a hurry. They are stacked up all the way back outside the top 10. Jack Mace catches the wall there in the 107. Lawson Peel right behind. Guest on the inside in the 9. Here comes Hawken. He's got pressure from Kevin King, and now Lawson Peel sideways off of Botafuco into the outside wall. He keeps it straight. We stand to green. But some right side damage for the SpaceX machine of Lawson Peel.
Yeah, did a good job of keeping that thing collected, but has now caused a considerable rift from the 13th place car, Nick Miller, back to Daniel Botafuco, and has let this front pack really start to get away.
For second, Brandon Hawken gets it done. Got David L. Brown now trying to get around the outside of Aaron Riolo in the 048. That's for the 6th spot. Got Frisch right in front. Here comes Sean Butler back there as well. He's lurking. At 32 on board with Riolo.
And everybody trying to find a spot in line. Spencer Burns goes up on the high side now, and I think a lot of it, for the time being, this momentum you're seeing off the corners is not so much just because of line, it's how stacked up this bottom lane is. And it really stacked up Riolo because Michael P. Frisch in front of him had that entire line in front of him that he had to check up for. So I think just the amount of cars on the inside is also helping this outside lane. We have more.
Oh, Spencer Burns! What a save!
That's some driving right there.
I thought he was long gone. Kept that thing pointed in the right direction. For now, but I'm sure he's heated those tires up.
And he's been struggling with that race car for a few laps now. It's why I think he opted to take that high lane. He dropped back down to the bottom, and again, handling all of a sudden becoming an issue for that 06. He's really not been happy with it on the inside. Oh, Hawken to the inside.
For the lead. And Mercurio lets him go, drops to the bottom. Brandon Hawken takes over the race lead. He has yet to go to victory lane in 2023. Best finish so far this year, 4th at Road America last week. He is very strong, traditionally strong on the road courses. In fact, in the playoffs last year, he missed some races because he was doing some virtual road racing overseas. So he missed 2 of the 3 races in the round. The last race in that round was the Charlotte Roval. He had to win the Roval in order to move on to the next round. Not a problem for Brandon Hawken. He goes out there, wins the Roval, moves on to the next round. And he was part of our Championship 4 at Phoenix a season ago.
And I think this top 4 really right now is going to have some considerable representation in the Final Four this year. I mean, Mercurio's been strong. Parker White obviously has been so dominant. Kevin King, the defending champion, and even Brandon Hawken again was in it just a year ago. And these 4 really have always just been contenders, and that's reflected here tonight. You see Malik Ray trying to break open the top 4 right now, trying to get to the inside of Parker White.
Comes Sean Butler. Right behind Malik Ray. Couple guests there as well. Coke driver. Rising their way to the top, and oh yeah, Brandon Hawkins there too. Of course, Mercurio, former Coke Series driver last year. And then from Kevin King back to guest, with the exception of Sean Butler. All Coke Series drivers. Then you have Frisch in there. He's made contender, I think, once before. At least has made it to the second round of the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series, which we'll see in a little less than a month. Parker White really loose off turn 4, but holds on to it. Lawson Peel has taken his car to the garage, done for the night, after we saw him bounce it off the fence.
And this is really the first time tonight that we've seen a long green flag run where tire wear has come into consideration. Right now, about 35 laps on these tires, and again, a lot of that, or a few of those laps run under caution, but again, for the first time today, seeing some handling issues just as a result of tire wear throughout the pack.
Mercurio gives up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and maybe 5th. Let Kevin King go by. Let Malik Ray go by. He let Sean Butler go by, and now he's under the gun from Michael Guest in the 9. As the 011 of Parker White also starting to slide back. He gets passed by Frisch. Oh, Spencer Burns got the apron, about wrecks it, but keeps it pointed in the right direction. Here comes David L. Brown to the outside.
See David L. Brown all the way up on the top here, and really throughout this pack, you're seeing a lot of guys start to single file out. I wonder if pit stops are coming into the forefront of people's minds. Not necessarily now, but just putting yourself in position that you're not going to wreck trying to get there.
I'd guess maybe in the next 15 laps we could see some folks make their way to the pit lane. Since for the folks out front, it's been a little under 40 laps since they last came onto the pit road. Now they have had some caution laps in there as well. Help them save a little bit of gas.
And I think you'd see a lot more people that were willing to kind of gamble with some alternate strategies with how long this race is. But I think that the number of cautions that we've had so far is a big detractor on that, because the last thing you want to do is come down pit road again on an alternate strategy from everybody else and find yourself, a lap down or something like that, or caught at the tail end, especially if we do see single file restarts here later on, because it's going to get hard to pass on those restarts, and the last thing you want to do is give up track position in that case. So I think we're going to see a more unified pit strategy throughout the field than normal. Either way, here comes Kevin King on Brandon Hawken for the lead.
Not much of a contest. And the ghost car. P1. Oh, Spencer Burns sideways off turn 2 and collects Dylan Basin to the inside wall. We stay green, and now he's coming back down the racetrack as Burns. Jack Mace goes around. Burns alt F4s, and the caution flag is out. Daniel Falkingham has gone around.
Get a replay right here, and again, just a handful there and gets everybody caught up. Dylan Basin collects, I think that's Nick Miller.
It's got loose. Basin nowhere to go. Hard hit to the inside wall. He hauled F4s before he's even done crashing.
And again, we saw that 06 was struggling with handling. It just has a car there, and here's Daniel Falkingham.
Kevin. Jack Mace mowing the lawn there. Pit stops, though, and just about everybody's headed to the pit lane. There is one exception. It's Ryan Rocky. He comes to the pit lane and decides that he's going to stay out. See if he can make this work. Kevin King wins the race off of pit road.
The timing for sure is interesting here. I will say, even if Naraki opts to pit this next time by, it's something to watch for sure, because we saw Ethan Quarter stay out earlier, and he did get eaten alive on the initial start, but he actually held his own on the outside fairly well, or at least fairly well compared to what I was expecting him to, so could be an option later in this race if it comes down to a late race restart at some point.
Possible. Oh,
there
he had
goes.
me fooled. Yeah, I thought he was going to stay out, but last second makes the turn. Dylan Basin, not a happy camper right now. Would say let's talk to Dylan Basin, but he's not in the Discord server to talk to.
Yeah, there's a few guys who tried to dial up here and not here. Do better, FTF Field, if you're listening.
Yeah. I understand that, you know, we want to talk to more people under caution. You can't, we can't talk to people if they don't show up to get talked to. Okay, there's Dylan Basin. We bullied him into to showing up here, Caleb.
See,
so
it
let's talk
worked.
with
It
him.
worked. Dylan Basin, how are we doing there? Understand you got some optionals.
I mean, I'm not angry. I kind of expect, like, you know, there's so many wrecks. If I was part of one, it wouldn't really surprise me, and it happened. So at least I'm not like 8 minutes required, and I can still drive. It's just, I don't know if you can see my camera right now. You see my steering wheel going straight. It ain't looking so good. It is grease. But you know what? It's driving. We're gonna stay on track and get some points.
Yeah, long race here tonight. Do you trust that we're going to have some cautions to get that car back and fixed up? Because you've had top 10 speed tonight.
If we suddenly start gaining talent right now out of nowhere, I'd be surprised. So I think we're going to have more yellows. I mean, like I said, it's alive. It's just, I'm not even touching the wheel. It's 90 degrees to the right, and it's still going. So, I mean, I have 8 minutes optional left. I can get like 2 minutes done of cautions. If we get a few cautions, you know, we'll be fine.
Well, we'll
Watch for the
hope.
comeback.
Yeah, we'll hope that you get those cautions, because that car is not looking so hot right now. But thanks for talking with us, Dylan, and good luck for the rest of this thing.
Yeah, thank you.
He's on the Formula Rim.
Oh, is Budafuka okay?
Hello?
Uh-oh.
What the heck? He says the clutch is still on. He's good. He's good. He's rolling. He's rolling. going to miss the start, though.
Yeah, it's
Kevin
unfortunate
King
for him.
and Brandon Hawken on the front row. Green flag. We're 9 laps away from being halfway here in stage number 2 of 4.
Hawken still has... Oh, he's going to get loose! Another great save there, and now Malik Ray's going to abandon that top lane.
Sean Butler will stay up high. Oh, Hawken loose again. They hold on for now. They'll get by that 099. And Caleb, this is the stage of the race where you've got about half the track in shade and half the track in sunshine. This is the part right here from turn 2 and down the backstretch where the sun is still out and shining bright. Then you get to turn number 3, and midway through 3 and 4, you get the shade from the grandstands, and you're in the shade till you get back to the middle of 1 and 2.
It's a dynamic racetrack for sure at this point. I mean, you see the handling just changes. Big push from Parker White to Malik Ray there on the front stretch. And you can see right about here is where the sun starts to come back out, and that's where the track temperature is higher than where it's in the shade. And I expect to see a few guys off turn 2. You see Parker White with a big wiggle. If there's any handling issues, it's going to be on that part of the racetrack right there off turn 2, just because that is in the sun.
Hawkins still fighting there on the outside. A little bit of contact
right
there
now.
between, a little bit of contact between Mercurio and Malik Ray. Down at the bottom, 2nd and 3rd. Ray got in the back of him, but they're able to keep it pointed in the right direction. And Caleb, it almost looks like they're at a plate track the way they're lined up here on the bottom of the racetrack, nose to tail. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, I thought Malik was going to go underneath Mercurio there going into 3, but he backed out of it. Smart move.
Oh, and Hawkins going to try to get clear down.
Wow.
That's going to make everybody scramble. Malik Ray's down to the inside of Brian Mercurio. Parker White with help drafting with him now.
What a run from Hawken there on the outside of the racetrack. He was sliding around 2 laps ago, and then he finds that extra gear and rockets around the outside of Kevin King and retakes the lead.
And I will say, for all this car's faults, a fun element it does add to the 1.5 miles is draft is very important here. I mean, you saw it there with Parker White, Malik Ray. They were bump drafting and stuck together on the front straightaway, and it makes runs, just so much more fun to watch. Is Michael P. Frisch going to tag the apron a little bit? Keeps it straight.
Great save there from Frisch. He's got Wyatt Tinsley there to the outside of him. Both cars started from the pit lane. Frisch was a choice. Tinsley was a penalty after his crash at Gateway 2 weeks ago. And they have both now rebounded inside the top 10. Haven't talked about it much. Meanwhile, Malik Ray has 2nd place over Kevin King and Parker White. Sean Butler, your top 5.
Wyatt Tinsley up inside this top 10 now. He's right behind Mercurio at this point. Matthew Zwack, we've seen him involved in a few incidents today. He's had a very nice rebound so far. Frisch has had top 5 speed, so there are still contenders all inside this top 10 and even just on that cusp of it. Lots of interesting faces here for sure. Sean Butler down to the inside underneath Parker White.
So Hawkins scooting away from Malik Ray and others. First side-by-side battle. You've got Matthew Zwack and Michael Guest down the back straightaway. That's for 8th.
Guest with a big run. Yeah, that was crazy off into turn number 3.
Tinsley checked up. And that's what allowed the run there for Guest up on the outside. Not much of a run as much as he didn't lift. Caution Chris, no, who is that? Oh, Mr. Melillo. Got loose and got turned by Daniel Botafuco. I think this is caution number 8.
Just gets loose. Yeah, and cuts across the nose of Botafuco, sends that 53 machine around.
Yeah, it's caution number 8. Well,
Is this the longest first 100 laps of a race in Barr Visual's FTF Cup Series history? Because I think it has to be up there.
I don't know, but I questioned when Justin, poor Justin, sent out the race schedule for tonight. I questioned the 11:10 p.m. Eastern estimated race end time, knowing how long last year's race here actually went. We may not complete these 100 laps before we hit 11:10. We're not even going to get through stage 2, as we're split here as far as cars to the pit lane and cars staying out. Hawkins stays out, as does Sean Butler, Guest, Kevin King, Isaac Gann, Santi Tires, Ashalim, Plessel, Healy, Doucette, Bryant, McAdams, Falkingham, Quarter, they all stay out, but a lot of the heavy hitters decided to come to the pit lane here to get some tires.
Yeah, and I mean, you want an interesting race, have this next stint go green, and you're going to have, let's see, about 6 of your top 10 on fresh tires trying to make their way up through the field, and there's still guys on older tires here, about 15 laps, that again have legitimate race-winning speed. I mean, Brandon Hawken up here, we saw him with that power move to get to the outside. Michael Guest, Sean Butler all in the top 3. And they have a ton of buffer back to Malik Ray, who I believe is the first car on fresh tires who came off the pit road there. So if we go green here, this is going to throw an interesting wrench to maybe have our main 2 strategies.
A couple here only took fuel only, which I find weird. Jackson Carr, Hamilton Akabuze, Daniel Botafuco. Everybody else, for the most part, taking 4.
And this caution really has come at an interesting time, because right now we are about, what, 25 laps away from the end of stage 2? I can't do math, but somewhere in there.
Yeah, we're right now 27 away, I believe.
And so that'll split us about halfway through the stage, and sets us up nicely if we can get a run in.
All right, let's take you through the used car lot here at the tail end of the field. Out of the race, Briar LaPrade, Alex Kalnix, AJ Green, Johan Seminario, Nate Stewart, Spencer Ray, Lawson Peel, Spencer Burns, add Chris Wetz. Now, he has connection issues. He fell out of the session. Not sure if he'll be able to get back in, but right now, that 71, he just fell out. Right now, he is out of the race, unofficially in the 36th position. And as I say that, he has reconnected. And we'll see how fast he can get his laps back. Everybody is on the lead lap. That is currently out on the racetrack. Dylan Basin, the last car on the lead lap, still getting some work done down there on the pit lane, trying to make up those 8 minutes of optional repair.
Should be coming to the choose cone this time by. I want to see if Hawken sticks with this outside or if he goes down to the inside. Looks like he'll be taking the inside lane. Seeing majority of guys pick this inside. And I'm wondering on this restart if we see kind of a migration up to the high side, because the inside, again, is still the preferred lane, but the amount of cars that have been on the inside has been stacking a lot of guys up, not only causing accidents, but again, when you get checked up like that, can lose a lot of momentum. And as this track changes, I want to see if this outside lane not only becomes more viable, but becomes preferred. We will have to see on this restart.
Let's take a look quickly at the weather and the track temp. Really, it's stayed the same, I think. I think it's still 91 from where it was earlier. But shade has overtaken much of the racetrack now. Back to green. Brandon Hawken, great launch on the bottom of the racetrack. 25 laps to go in stage number 2. We are slowly approaching the halfway point. Painfully slowly, I might add.
And Sean was almost asleep on that restart. You're going to see Isaac Gann throw it, make it 3 wide underneath Matthew Zwack. Watch out with these guys again. We've been super loose. Matthew Zwack.
Oh, boy.
There's still 3.
Isaac Gann, 3 wide on the bottom. 4th on the FTF all-time win list. Hasn't won a race in FTF competition since 2018. Car in the wall, back straight away. Everybody scatters to avoid Daniel Falkingham. We stay green. Hawkins scooting away.
Yeah, and Michael Guest is slotted in. Sean Butler, after a poor restart, slots back ahead of Matthew Zwack. Isaac Gann has a run on Zwack to the inside. Going to move Zwack up the racetrack. They're going to be side by side off 2 still. This is all for 4th.
As I mentioned, Gann, he hasn't won an FTF since the NR days, and I understand that that was only the end of 2020, their last race on NR, but still. Arching his way to the front. He's trying to pick up his first win on iRacing here in FTF. Inch himself closer to Brian Mercurio, who sits 3rd on the all-time win list at 16. No wins for him this year. 5 of them last year.
Oh, close call out of turn 4. Matt Healy got that car on the apron and sideways. Kevin McAdams going to be to his outside now. Could have been a lot worse than it actually was, though.
Who?
Matt Healy, or Scott Healy. Good
there
Lord.
Go. I know who you are. Kevin McAdams is mad. And it's at the aforementioned Healy for blocking. Yeah. With 14 minutes to spare, we have completed lap 100 before the estimated race end time that was given to us in pre-race. Yippee!
And now Kevin going to be able to get down to the inside again for the 9th position. I think Scott's going to have too much of a run on this outside. Maybe not. Down to the inside as they go into turn number 1. Give the 9th spot to Kevin McAdams.
Great run so far for Kevin. Haven't talked about him much, but he's lurked around all season. 5 top 10 finishes this year. Season best, a 4th place finish at Gateway a couple of weeks ago in that disaster of a finish with no green-white checkers turned on, so we had to improvise. And like half the field, 3/4 of the field crashed on the last lap. He's able to come away with the top 5. Hasn't won in FTF competition, at least on the Cup side, since 2020. He is one of the few drivers that has been around this long and has been full-time that long that has gone to victory lane and has been on that big of a drought. You can add Chris Wetz into that conversation. His last win in FTF came in 2020. Jake Poulin's is longer. His is since 2019. Malillo is in the same boat. He hasn't won an FTF since 2020.
Oh, trouble.
David Brown. Caution's out. Isaac Gann has parked the car. This didn't start with David L. Brown. This was Juan Jimenez and Daniel Botafuco. David L. Brown had nowhere to go, though, and collects Cosman as well. Down the back, you can see the contact between the 02 and the 13, and there's where Cosman gets sent with the contact with the 83. And the caution's out once again. We had a good green flag run going there. Problem is they couldn't make it last.
Yeah, and interesting race complications here. I think when he heard that the caution was out again, Isaac Gann just Alt F forward out of the 4th position.
Said, you know what? I'm going home.
I can't blame him, considering this race was scheduled to be over in about 10 minutes from now, and we're not halfway yet.
So we'll get a restart with about 10 to go in the stage. Chris Wetz will get his 2 laps back after he fell out of the session. So he will get back on the lead lap. And as far as those on fresher tires, the first one, Parker White in P8, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm going to take a moment here to talk again with P3 and Sean Butler. Sean, last time we talked to you, you were just hoping for a clean car, and now you find yourself with not only a clean car, a few close calls, but inside the top 3 here. What's the attack to get to the end of the stage?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just looking to survive. I mean, me, Malik, and Guest just kind of weaved our way up through there, you know, when we had that little pit road ordeal. So fortunately, both of us are still up here, clean cars, so that's good. But I don't know, man. I'm just trying to keep my track position up here. As it's duly noted, the mid to back of the pack is hectic back there, as you guys have seen. So I just want to keep the old Huffman Racing machine up here clean and avoid that area of the field at all costs. It's pretty crazy back there.
Yeah, and as we get later into the stage, about 12 to go right now, if my math is correct, but no promises. Do you think that the track position at this point is going to be more important, or do you think, long run tires in this stage are going to be more beneficial to you?
That's a good question. I mean, I surprisingly, I'm kind of surprised myself here because full disclosure, I hate this car with a passion. It's probably going to bite me later on after I said that. But I'm notoriously terrible in this car, but I'm pretty good at Charlotte, and I've kind of had the line down by running a UFL, a while ago. Shout out to them, by the way, for putting this race in car and track combo. So I learned a lot in that race. And I'm just bringing it over here, and it's worked so far. Just trying to, keep the tires on it, keep the right front good, the right rear good, try not to slide anything. And, I mean, I've shown, from what I think, I've shown pretty good long run speed. So I just got to, play my cards right, don't do anything stupid, don't overstep my bounds, and, just, like I said, try to stay up here. I want to stay as far away from the field back there as possible.
The animals.
Yes, the hornet's nest, as it's so called.
Well, coming to 1 to green here should be. We'll let you get back to it. We'll probably check back in with you later. Hope you have an energy drink by your side. Thanks for your time.
Oh, no problem. And I just want to bring the name up Odubel Herrera to Jacob Hitz. So I just want to kind of make him cringe a little bit.
Unbelievable.
He asked me, what happened to the Mets earlier today? And I'm like, well,
I was being sincere because, the Mets were good. and now they're like 4.5 games back on the Phillies, and I don't understand how that happened.
Maybe the Phillies are good, Jake. Ever think of that?
No, I've watched the Phillies. They are not good.
Oh my goodness. They were in the NLCS last year. They did something right.
Got hot at the right time, and they cut Odubel Herrera. That's why they made the NLCS.
Unbelievable. Just have some faith in your team, Jacob. They're better than the Mets this year, I will say that. Unless the Mets just acquire like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani at the deadline, which will not happen, but you never know.
When the Mets sweep the Phillies here next week, I'll be sure to bring this conversation back up.
All right, you heard it here first, everybody. Jacob Hitz says when, not if, the Mets are going to sweep the Phillies. So congratulations, Phillies, on the series win, and we'll be seeing you down the road, hopefully.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Sean.
We will. Thank you, guys.
The lights are on here, Jacob. Finally getting to the night portion of this race.
They're off on the pace car, but on outside the racetrack.
It's true. Good call.
Yep. If they were on in the pace car, we wouldn't be setting up for a restart. So we'll have 12 to go in stage 2. Let's see if they make it. Green flag.
Ooh, Zwack gets big, checked up on the outside. Parker White all over him already. He and Mercurio are all over each other back here. Brandon Hawken back up at the front, has a big gap. Parker White just going to shove his way into the bottom line, and they are good off turn number 2 for the time being.
How about Blake Bryant up here in that 07? Now he's going to get passed by Parker White, who's on the fresher tires, trying to pick up his second stage win of the night. He'll take over 4th off turn 4, coming to 11 laps to go. Trouble. Doucette through the grass. The 2-time winner this year. And I think this is his 3rd wreck of the night. Just got loose off corner number 4. Locked it up, mowed the turf, keeps it green.
Close call back up in the lead pack as well. Blake Bryant and Brian Mercurio got together just a little bit. I think Blake Bryant struggling with handling at this point. A little bit more contact. They're 3 wide. Oshalim off track. And
oh, no!
Turned.
Up in the air. Horrible crash for Blake Bryant, tumbling down the front straightaway. Oh, and Malik Ray comes back up and takes out Nick Miller in all the carnage. Wyatt Tinsley is involved in this, Jack Mace, and multiple horrific hits in the quad oval. Blake Bryant did a pole vault and then a somersault.
Oh my God.
Scott Healy drove underneath him. Kevin McAdams, Kevin King, Aaron Riolo, Daniel Botafuco. That might have been the worst wreck I've ever seen at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That was Jeff Gordon 2007 on steroids. Take a look at this.
Yeah, and Kevin, big contact there, and again sends Blake Bryant just tumbling down the front straightaway. And that has to be up there for, I think, with Phoenix Spring last year, of worst wrecks I've ever seen in FTF, because my goodness, multiple violent impacts, and I think bigger implication on this race. Brian Mercurio is not going to be able to continue.
iRacing not top 10. On board with Kevin. Yikes. Up close and personal with the driver of the 07. Now, what happened at the end of this with Malik Ray? Because he just kind of came up out of nowhere and bodied Nick Miller up into the wall. Did Malik just like hang a left and then couldn't hold on, or did he get tipped? Oh, he just lost it.
Yeah.
Lost it in the turf and came up and walloped the 19 of Nick Miller. Man, another fast car.
Attrition.
Good point in chat. Not the first time the 11's been turned into the wall like that at Charlotte this year. The difference, this one was not on purpose.
Yeah, we were talking about how
Sorry, Brian Mercurio is not going to be spending a week at home next week.
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking last caution about how the lights had come on, and I think at this point the lights might turn back off by the time we're done with this thing.
Yeah. They're going to give us the keys and just say, hey, lock this place up when you're done, all right?
Yeah,
I hope we paid for a long enough session. 3.5 hours? You're getting close.
I want to see if we can get a word in here with one Kevin McAdams. Here he is. And Kevin, is this the first time you've seen a car upside down in front of you at Charlotte?
No. Back in GNS, when Casey Nemitz was lapped, he decided to just completely miss the corner and take about 8 of the top 15 out way back when FTF was STN Racing. But that was not something that I expected to have happen tonight. I honestly, I couldn't even process the wreck by the time Blake's car was on top of my hood. So sorry about getting into that one, but man, that was this night has been, I'd say, a disappointment for me at least. I don't know, just the lack of patience. As soon as someone has a mistake, it's just a matter of people being just over aggressive and trying to take advantage of someone's just small error and putting people in really bad spots. So if the first 112 laps have been a sign of things to come, we're going to be here till 4th of July. So buckle in.
Yeah, and I mean, how are you feeling right now? Just, you had Blake Bryant on top of you, ramped on you at one point. Is the car feeling okay?
I had about 45 seconds of damage. It seems like this car can, as long as it's in one piece, they can put it back together. So, we'll see. I had about 25 seconds of damage when AJ hooked me on the lap 1 crash. So, we'll figure it out. We'll see how it feels. Kevin's in front of me, so I'll use him as kind of like a barometer for speed because he was involved in that too. So, we'll find out. But give a good old shout out right now to my teammate and Ryan Rocky running top 10 after that one. So, hopefully we can have a good stage 2 here.
Well, of course, thank you for your time, and we'll hope that car is performing well for you for the rest of this thing.
Oh, I'm sure by the end of the night it won't be after the way things have been going on.
I told Sean, grab an energy drink.
I'm going to need, it's about 6 by the time we get done around 2 a.m.
All right, well, thank you for your time. We'll let you get back to it. Kevin McAdams there, Jacob, and I got to say, that is a wreck that has happened.
Now, all right. This is a replay of Guest. What the hell is he doing? He just killed the choose zone. Like I wasn't even there. Man. All right, well, he'll start tail end. 6 to go in stage 2, everybody. Green flag.
This race was supposed to be over right now, scheduled. Good launch there from Hawken. Parker White fell back to about P15 at one point, finds himself back in second right now.
Corner! Around into David L. Brown.
Oh,
he collects Mace. Kevin King. Another half dozen cars. Are you guys kidding me? We were not in the buffer zone, so we get to do this again before the end of stage 2. I mean, seriously? Seriously. Come on now.
We'll get a replay right here, and I think, again, Quarter just loses it down on the inside. David L. Brown makes a little bit of contact. Kevin King's in it as well. Get an alternate angle of it right here, and a little further back in the pack. You see everybody just, I don't know if they struggled to check up for it there or what. And you see Akabuize going around.
be shortening the caution a lap, so that way they can get the stage in, I think, and now drivers aren't happy because they have damage, which, like, I don't blame them for not being happy.
They are not shortening the caution. Actually, race control is going to come over and clarify that. I do want to get another word in real fast with one Dylan Basin, who right now sits P27. And Dylan, is the steering wheel at least straight?
Here's an update. We're in the corner. It's going normal. You see this? It's amazing. It's like I'm in love. I never thought I'd miss the steering wheel being straight, but here we are. So, you know, we still got 6 minutes left because I got 2 more minutes from tapping the wall. I don't know what damage it came from it, but, you know, back to 1 down. I'm not shutting the tire. Like, the first run I did on the damaged car, I blew the right front because the steering wheel was so bad. But now it's straight, so we'll be good. We get another yellow, we'll be on the lead lap. And, you know, if we keep going on this pace, I'll be back competing. So, yeah.
The comeback, as you said, just wanted to get a check-in with you on that steering wheel. Do you think, again, that, you know, later on this race, if you just continue to survive, where do you think you'll end up? 15th, 10th, somewhere in there?
I mean, considering I'm more than 27th, and I was just 3 laps down, you know, 10 minutes ago, I think I can chance a decent finish here. I mean, really all it is now is just, if I can get someone to jump on my left front and beat it out, we'll be good.
Well, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you, Dylan, for your time, and good luck for the rest of this thing.
Yep, thank you.
Some progress for that 04 machine, and again, he had some legitimate speed before being involved in a few incidents, but I think it's going to be a lot of guys today if the first 118 laps are concerned. Just about to hit halfway, Jacob.
Hooray. Lap 123, by the way, is halfway. Good news. We're single file. Hooray. Single file restarts from here to the checkered flag. Will it solve anything? We'll find out. I'm betting on no, for the record. Because that last caution, I don't think would have been avoided by single file restarts. It's her out. 1 to green. Cannot pass before the start finish line. The inside or the outside. So if they stack them up, prepare for destruction. Everybody gets to start in line.
You know, again, from talking to Parker White earlier, he said that track position, if once they move to single file restarts, was going to be so much more important. So that's going to definitely affect what we see pit stops wise. I assume you're going to see more reserve moves from these guys inside the top 5, top 10 area, where track position is, again, just going to be so important that you're probably going to be a little more risky on pit road, maybe take 2 or maybe even just fuel trying to stay up inside.
No black flags will be cleared from here to the end, at least on the restarts. You see the timer above the lap counter. Right now we've still got about a half hour to play with. 1 lap dash for stage 2 of 4. Brandon Hawken leads, green flag, fresher tires on the 011. Trying to pick up his second stage win of the night.
Chris Wetz to the outside of Matthew Zwack. One car off the pace further back.
Andy Margot way off the pace. Here they come through 3 and 4 to the stage ender. Brandon Hawkins gonna break up the Parker White train. He wins stage 2. And for Brandon Hawkins, that's his first stage win of 2023. And here comes Parker White for the lead.
Yeah, similar to what we saw in stage 1 when Parker White won and immediately gave up the first position. Everybody for now, single file. Oh, one car
Trouble.
around.
Juan Jimenez. He was blinking in and out and appeared in the middle 3 wide. That's what caused that.
And I
Nobody.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get the replay here. I think it's Chris Wetz coming down again when Jimenez just disappeared. It's going to be hard to follow on the replay here.
Yeah, it might be easier to follow
I think Zwack or
the 7.
maybe Buttafuoco.
Yeah, I think Zwack would be the better guy here.
Because you see, he's just gone.
And then it just comes together, not knowing where he's at, and wham.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Jimenez just disappeared at that point. Chris Wetz doesn't know where he is, comes down, and forces Jimenez into Zwack, and they all come together at that point. Wyatt Tinsley is just falling out. Should be returning here, but is not in the session at the moment.
Caution number 12 is what we're on right now. Step aside. Parker White's your race leader. We are officially halfway at Charlotte. We're back after this. We're back. We're back here at Charlotte. We are officially halfway. This is a race that is occurring. And, oh boy. Sean Butler is getting heated in the chat.
Yeah, I think there's some contention that's boiled over into the chat.
From an official race. You don't lose iRating in FTF.
Beef.
This is beef from an official race.
We have beef, ladies and gentlemen.
Or is this seriously this race? Because you do not lose iRating in FTF. That is not a thing that happens.
I think it's a combined few incidents. Maybe there was one reference from last night and then one from tonight. Maybe I'm not sure. Either way,
it does say last night. What a mess. All right. Well, this is green flag number 13. Had 12 cautions. And we'll have 121 laps to go on the restart. Outside there, stacking up. Green flag.
Parker White being chased down by Michael P. Frisch right now. Further on back, Matthew Zwack going to try the outside. Shout out to Lucas Plessel right now. First car on the newer tires. Sitting right there in third.
By the way, while we're away, we talked about Wyatt Tinsley falling out. His computer crashed. So his computer may or may not have made a good decision. Just, you know what? Let's set the rest of this out. So it looks like he will finish in the 30th position unofficially out of the race. He'll join the laundry list of cars out. Scott Healy, Blake Bryant, Malik Ray, Cosman, Santiago Tires, Isaac Gann, Spencer Burns, Lawson Peel, Spencer Ray, Nate Stewart, Johan Seminario, AJ Green, Alex Collins, and Brian LaPrade. Jonathan Oshalim, after spending 6 minutes on the pit lane, is back out on the racetrack. He's 11 laps down. Nick Miller is 8 laps down. Mercurio is 6 laps down. And Juan Jimenez, he is 1 lap down right now, 26. The only car that is one singular lap down.
And you know what? Virtual Dale Jr., who's out in the stands somewhere here at Charlotte, is going to have a good picking of race cars to go to the graveyard. Because I doubt we're done.
Nope.
Right now, I mean, Chris Wett's going to make a move on Plessel for third. I was just about to talk about Lucas Plessel's 2/10 on average faster right now than both of these leaders on the fresher tires right now. We'll see if Chris Wetz can use that to his advantage up inside the top 3. He is gaining on Michael P. Frisch off of 4.
Go to the outside. Wetz will try and take over that second spot. Right, he is on fresher tires. So is Lucas Plessel. So is Botafuco and most of these others. It's White and Frisch that are currently on the oldest tires.
We'll see if Wetz can chase down Parker White here. Michael P. Frisch going to use that wake from Wetz to suck back up to him. I think the corner speed is just so different right now. That's where Chris Wetz really is being able to make up his time.
Got a check of that track temperature with 116 laps to go. Now that the sun is all but completely down, it's only dropped 1 degree. The air temp hasn't changed at all. And the again, the track temp's only down to 90. It was at 91. So this the temperatures really haven't budged since start of stage 2 or whenever we last checked it.
Lucas Plessel, again, after restarting third, has had a rough go of it the last few laps. Got loose in turn 3 and has just been getting freight trained ever since. Called all the way back into the 10th position. Looks like he'll lose more.
Plessel has had an up and down start to the year, mostly down. He is 39th in points. He has only made 4 races this year. Everything else he's been forced to take a last place provisional. His best finish last week at Road America, 23rd, 24th at Gateway, 35th at North Wilkesboro, 26th at Atlanta. Those are the 4 races that Plessel has made in 2023.
I will say, looking back up at the front right now, Parker White has been doing just a masterful job of keeping that 011 car wide right now. And Chris Wetz, again, was about 2/10 faster than both of these guys early on, but Parker White's been doing a great job. Not here, though. Chris Wetz to the outside off turn number 2. Doesn't quite have the handle on it. He will get the run. They're side by side for the lead down the backstretch. Chris Wetz and Parker White.
Fresh tires versus old tires. You're right on board with Fresh. Watching the side-by-side battle for the lead just in front. That may allow Fresh to close in as well.
And Parker holding his own really well on the inside right now. He's actually going to get back clear Chris Wetz. Wetz going to have to fall back in line and regroup, try to get a charge going back together. He's going to have to figure out something soon, though, because this tire advantage not going to last for long.
Talk about guys having a good run. How about Ryan Naraki in P9? Great run for driver 37. Right now, he sits 2 spots out of the top 16 in points. Because of Malik Ray's win, that would bump David L. Brown out. Oh no, Chris Wetz at the wall! Chris Wetz got loose off turn 4, overcorrects it, and puts it in the outside safer barrier. He'll lose a ton of spots, drop outside the top 10, and those fresh tires have gone to waste for driver 71.
And that's just heartbreaking for Chris Wetz there. Was on the outside, had speed to take the lead, just couldn't close the deal at the very end. Tags that outside wall with damage now. Definitely not what he wanted to see, but that's really grouped everybody back up together for the lead. Daniel Buttafuoco right here, and he has even fresher tires than Wetz did. We'll see if he's able to get around. Gonna try this outside lane to get around Michael P. Frisch. To no avail right now, though. We'll see if he gets a run off the corner.
Way up there. Thought it might open up the door for Riolo, and now Buttafuoco peeks to the inside. Frisch slams the door shut. Yeah. Buttafuoco has to lift out of it. He'll try it again.
And again, cannot do what Chris Wetz did there. If you wait too long, this tire advantage is going to go away for you. You don't want to burn up your stuff. See if he can try something else again. And Pekin just doesn't quite have it yet.
Oh, he hits him! Moves him up the racetrack. Still side by side, and Buttafuoco gets it. Give him second place. A little adversity to get there, and he'll bring Riolo with him, and he might bring Guest with him.
And if Frisch is not careful, he is going to have the same thing happen, just get freight trained on this outside. He needs to figure out a spot in line, and if he can get a run on Michael Guest here, that is going to be huge. Riolo and Buttafuoco bump drafting down the backstretch, trying to catch Parker White right now. This has allowed him to start to check out.
Trying to inch their way to Parker White.
Riolo now trying that Larson line all the way up at the top.
Can't quite get it to work there. Frisch able to drop in line to 4th. Closing in on halfway in stage number 3. You see Zwack up the racetrack, getting passed by Hawken. Sean Butler is right there as well. 105 to go, make it 104 to go in the race overall.
And right now, Buttafuoco is peaking on Parker White. Will he send it like he did on Frisch? He's going to try to. He gets there. Underneath Parker White for the lead. Can White get the run off the corner? He will, and this is going to open the door for Riolo as well.
Side by side. Who wants to lead more? Fresh tires on Buttafuoco, rather fresher tires. With the older tires from Parker White, still side by side. Down the back straightaway.
What's keeping Parker White in it right now? Aaron Riolo still in this as well. If he can work that third line up at the top. Parker White squeezing Buttafuoco down to the inside. White gonna wiggle just a little bit side by side. Buttafuoco has it for now, but maybe not for long as they go into turn number 1.
Frisch hops up in front of Riolo. He'll retake 3rd. Here comes Guest looking for 4th. Still side by side for the lead. Buttafuoco trying to side draft and pull Parker White back. Looking for the lead. He washes
contact.
up. They touch.
Still 5 cars under a blanket here at Charlotte. Still side by side. This outside lane is keeping Parker White in it. I don't know for how much longer, as he is really starting to battle with handling off at turn number 2. Still going to get that run. He has Frisch pump drafting him down the straightaway. Gives him the advantage going into 3.
And Guest with a great push there to Buttafuoco. Still side by side. That 13 starts to pull ahead.
Oh, he
if
wiggles.
Parker White can't hold there, Buttafuoco got loose. He got the paint. Down on the line. And they're still side by side. Parker White leads at the line. And Buttafuoco's going to have to try it all once more.
He's got to figure out something to qualm this run, but even Michael Guest might look 3 for the lead here. He's going to follow back in line behind Buttafuoco. Frisch coming with a run. Can he get a bump to Parker White? I don't think so. They're still going to be side by side.
Oh, he missed the bottom.
Contact.
Buttafuoco missed the bottom of the racetrack. He pushes up, gets into Parker White. They're leaning on each other off the corner. Parker White still, I think, leads it at the line. Just barely over Daniel Buttafuoco. The margin, 4 1/1000ths of a second. Just a hair between those top 2. Still loose off turn 2.
Some incredible driving here at the front. And it's still Buttafuoco and Parker White. Michael P. Frisch just can't get to him. They're going to make more contact still. Side by side through turns 3 and 4. Buttafuoco holding the bottom.
Pushed him up the track a little bit. Parker White still leads at the line. Some of the best battling we've had all race long. And it comes just past the halfway point. Approaching stage number 3. We'll have 30 to go in this stage in 2 laps. Lap traffic ahead is Oshalim. Parker White all but clear. Buttafuoco again trying to reel him back in. He gets a good run off the corner. They're going to be side by side. Lap car ahead. Buttafuoco leads at the line. Where does Oshalim go? All the way to the outside. Sean Butler peeks underneath Michael Guest but can't get it done.
Parker White did a great job of using Oshalim to get a little bit of help with some draft. I just don't think he's going to have the support. And finally, Daniel Buttafuoco going to clear Parker White for the lead here.
Don't look now. Here comes Michael Guest. Guest is on 5-lap fresher tires than Buttafuoco. He pitted 1 more caution after Buttafuoco. For Sean Butler, he pitted 2 cautions after Buttafuoco. He is on the freshest tires in this bunch. Same with Brandon Hawken, who just took over 4th spot. Gotta wonder now, though, Blake, when that 011 could have to think about coming to pit road. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it on gas to the end of stage number 3, as well as, well, everybody else in this pack. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it either.
have to see how it plays out. And for Parker White especially, this handling has gone away tenfold since he lost the lead. Now Michael Guest gonna look down to the inside of Daniel Buttafuoco. Gonna make it a relatively seamless transition is now Michael Guest has the lead off turn number 2.
Parker White coming to pit road this time by. We'll see that 011 right behind these guys. Make the call and come to the pit lane.
Oh, Butler got loose. Little bit of contact there around with Brandon Hawken in the triangle. Sean Butler turned
Caution's
around.
out. Oh.
Well, there goes your fuel question because it's going to be everybody coming down here.
Sean Butler got loose coming off turn number 4, washed up the racetrack. Brandon Hawken was on his outside corner panel, and into the wall they go. Parker White will get saved here. He will pit. He'll likely be your leader. Here's the replay.
And again, just gets loose, and Brandon Hawken is there. Both of those guys on the freshest tires. And worst case scenario for both of them.
Not a lot of damage. You're right on board with Hawken. I think both of them fared pretty okay. I say that. I think Sean Butler's left rear toe link is broke. But outside of that, I think they're okay.
I'm just disappointed that battle had to end because that was incredible.
Right.
Just 6 cars under a blanket like that back and forth. Wow. Maybe we'll get it again here. We'll see.
Travis Brown writes in, I had money on Sean.
That's not all he said.
Yeah, I know. Pits are open. And it's a busy place. Everybody heads to the pit lane for service. Except for one guy, Parker White. How about this from Parker White, though? He did not take tires. A fuel-only stop for Parker White. And he will take the lead, and he will still be on those ancient tires. Everybody behind him taking foreign fuel. That's a strategy. Man, oh man. So Parker White elects fuel only. Now, I don't know if he would have gotten 4 tires. What the heck? Dropping to the back, it looks like. Just, he's not out of fuel. Just dropping to the tail end, so even on the old tires. Oh, no, he will pit. I think he knows that now he's in trouble. Oh, Chris Wetz fell out again. Again, let's take a look at what's upcoming here on FTF. With 91 laps to go. Winsdale returns tomorrow from Chicagoland. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern. Core is at Kansas on tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be live at 8:45 with my pre-race show. We're back. The Barvish FTF Cup Series is back, hopefully, from Nashville next week. If we finish in time, we'll be back at Nashville next week, 9 o'clock Eastern. After that, more Core Summer Series presented by SimRatMarket.com. That's our exhibition race, the Street Stocks at Charlotte to end June. FTF 1 returns there at Chicagoland. And then the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series has our doubleheader in 2 weeks' time. Chicago Street Course Saturday, Chicagoland Sunday. All that and more right here on FTF. And, oh yeah, that thing, the eNASCAR Qualifying iRacing Series Round 2. It's back, Mid-Ohio, Thursday, July 6th. And then we go dirt racing at Eldora. Yippee. All that and more. You'll see here on FTF, including those things as well. Core on the birthday. Will not complain about that. I think we're 1 to green, and we are. Single file. Brian Mercurio, by the way, he has parked the car. Finally, he's done. He's tried getting that thing fixed. He was 9 laps down, and he just said, "The hell with it. I'm going home." And getting an early start on bedtime. He'll join an ever-growing list of folks that are out of the race.
Yeah, really a tough break again for Mercurio, who had a rough round at Road America last week, again with some issues there. Coming home with a 20th, and now looking like he'll come home in around the 27th position here tonight.
All right, here we go. Green flag. Really stacked up there, but Afuko was ready. Trouble, Parker White. He saved it. Good Lord. Nick Miller. What is Nick Miller doing?
He tagged the apron and got sideways there and just had to collect it.
No, but what is he doing? He didn't start in line. He started on the inside compared to everybody else and jumped the start basically when everybody stacked up on the outside. There were about 4 or 5 cars about wrecked, but the 19 was never in line. Passed him and then had to stop and let them all back. Where was he going? But Parker White has damage. Oshalim has damage. Basin, Jimenez all involved. There's Chris Wetz. He's now back after falling out of the server for a second time. Meanwhile, we are all way spread out.
Yeah, it's really a clean slate for these guys. Or last time we had the 3 drivers up at the front on older tires. Now it's everybody on the same page here in terms of tire wear and fuel.
$20 laps until the end of stage number 3. Michael Guest, your leader. It's Buttafuoco, Zwack, Frisch, Kevin King, your top 5. Riolo, Brown, McAdams, Naraki, Doucette, your top 10. Ethan Corder is in trouble. Into the wall. And he almost gets hit. Oh, he does get hit by Ryan Pandicio, who had the whole track to get by him, but instead chose the barely car width up against the outside wall to get by. Let's get the replay of Nick Miller first, and then we'll check out what's up with Corder. So, let's start with the 19. This is after the restart.
And he said he was just trying to get out of the way because he was laps down.
Meanwhile, quarter.
Oh yeah,
Just
just a
lost
classic. Yeah, get loose.
The car sits on pit road.
I do want to check here since we have been completely enveloped by nightfall. And looks like the track temp still 90 degrees. Has dropped a whopping 1 degree Fahrenheit. Air temp is really stayed the same as well.
I find that very hard to believe. Like, I don't get it. Is the sun, like, just... I don't understand it. The track temp just went up. The sun's down. Are these lights, like, surface on the sun levels? What is going on?
I will say it's interesting because usually as you go through, especially with the next-gen cars where that corner speed is really emphasized, as it gets colder throughout the night as the sun drops, speeds really pick up. And here on fresh tires during this run, we are still about 1/10 to 2/10 off the fastest lap times that have been run in this race. So the sun might be down, but I don't think the sim really cares here.
See, it's teammates. Kevin
Kevin
McAdams
Rocky.
and yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. This lap right now, if this was a normal FTF 400-kilometer race, this would be the checkered flag. So it's taken us 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think outside of the 500, this is the longest race of the year that we've had, as far as time is concerned.
For sure.
And we still got a quarter to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Ethan Quarter. He's parked the car. Go ahead.
I've just seen a little bit of debate about having the fourth stage for these Charlotte races, and I mean, I'm kind of okay with it just because of how long of a race this is. I mean, it's almost an endurance race in its own right, where you're just out here driving this thing for so long and trying to just survive. I think it's a nice reward to the people who do stick through it all and are able to avoid everything, to have just that extra bit of point incentive with the extra stage.
You see a little side-by-side. Lucas Plessel and Ryan Doucette. That's for 11th. Sean Butler coming to pit road. Huh. Is this some sort of strategery to try? Oh, well. Can't make it to the end from here. Gonna have to pit one more time. Really interested here with the call from Sean Butler to come on to pit road.
I think actually Sean has disappeared on pit road.
That was going to be my next question, if he just decided to give up. So,
And Sean comes through chat. He has indeed retired. And I don't blame him. Need that in the headlines. Quitter Sean Butler.
Unbelievable. His sponsors are going to leave him. Concussed. He didn't hit the wall that hard, and he didn't hit it with the back of the car. He's fine. He's fine.
And he's fully tapped out.
Yeah.
For the record, we're not concussed.
Right.
Oh, he's in here. Broke in the booth.
Unbelievable. I say my piece and then I just get dogpiled on.
So the headline is true that you are indeed a quitter.
We are saving funds because we're not a full-time operation. We are saving our resources and bringing them to whatever race we decide to run next. It's been tough at Huffman Racing the last couple of weeks. Funds are not exactly where they need to be. The real life stuff has kind of put a damper into the sim racing stuff, but you know, we're chugging along. We will recover from this, and whenever we come back next, we will try not to do what I did tonight again.
I'm going to assume Chicagoland may be the next race you show up for, like Nashville and Chicago Street Course are the next two before that.
I mean, it's a hell no for the Chicago Street Course. It's a maybe.
Right.
It's a probably not for Nashville, but you know, it's sure we'll do Chicagoland. That's a fun track.
I doubt you're doing New Hampshire or Pocono, maybe Michigan.
Michigan. Oh my! Can I sue Zach Johnson just for putting?
That is a fair
on.
label. That's a fair
no,
label.
No, that's fake news. Come on now.
That is propaganda.
If you listen to what Sean said, that's not. He never said quitter.
It's fancy talk for I'm quitting.
Unbelievable.
But
He doesn't want to stick out the last 70 laps. He's been through most of them. You're past halfway. It's easier to stay in it.
You know, I could have just left when the incident happened. I was very apologetic to Brandon Hawken, though. I feel very bad for him. He seems to be okay, though. His car, he's moving right on up. There he is. He's coming through.
I didn't think either one of you had that much damage. And then I saw you try and catch back up to the field and about lose your lunch off turn 4. I was like, uh-oh, that toe link's broken.
That's when I knew it was time. So
yeah.
There's some points you got to just swallow your pride and say, you know, it's not in the cards tonight. We'll pack up. We'll get them next time.
Well, hey, I know there's a Explosive 87 race that's coming up here in about a month's time. I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
We are. You know, we've put in extensive efforts into getting the vehicle, you know, set up for the race because you have to do that. I mean, not for the race, for qualifying. Yeah. But yeah, we're getting ready for that. It's been ask Kevin about our adventures for that. We've taken a bit of a hiatus, but we're going to get back to it. Look at Frisch losing a spot. Unbelievable. Can we talk about how bad Michael Frisch has been, even though he's in the top 5?
No.
I mean,
okay.
He did lose the Legend of the Future Championship. Don't forget it.
Kevin doesn't let him forget that at all.
He shouldn't.
I mean,
Kevin should hold that over his head for the rest of their lives.
For the rest of his life, Jake. That's it's a little excessive, I think.
I don't think so.
Philip McCandless is in the chat. Hi, Philip. Good to see you.
The brother of the voice of the
Cars Tour,
Racing.
And the color voice of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, Blake McCandless.
All right, good news, guys. This is the end of stage 3. Michael Guest is going to bring it around town through 3 and 4 and pick up his third stage win of 2023. He gets it done.
His third win of stage 3.
Yep, it's not about quality, it's about quality. Alrighty, so there's that done. So it's a full sprint to the end. Only 65 laps to go. And the good news, we've got about a little over an hour left in the session. We're projected to have about 33 minutes left of race. So unless we have 15 more yellows before the end of this deal, we should finish on time.
Yeah, looking through right now, everybody just logging laps off. Thank God. Naraki going to make a move here on Brennan Hawken. This for the 11th position as they go into turn number 3. Just couldn't quite complete it there. That's something we've seen time after time here. I was expecting this outside lane to be a little better than it actually has been, where you can get up beside somebody, you just cannot close the deal off.
It's Mace getting around David L. Brown for 7th, just in front of those guys. Akabueze gets by Hawken. Got Naraki and Kevin McAdams right behind.
Yeah, Parker White back here as well, trying to get around Kevin McAdams right now. McAdams able to slam the door on him, but I think Parker White going to be able to get to his inside here. Not quite. They go into 1-0. McAdams going to tag the wall just a little bit, and that's going to give Parker White the room he needs.
Wait, he's still in this race? Didn't he wreck? Or no, he didn't wreck. That's right. It was pitting before the caution that got him back in traffic, and then he didn't take tires. Okay. Everybody else is wrecked tonight, so I was thinking that he was involved in a wreck as well. Whoops.
That's an interesting story to follow here. I think, again, Parker White, before the sun went down, was just the dominant car of this race. If he can crawl his way back up to, the top 10, somewhere in there, he'll have a shot to be back in it. He's just got to be patient and bide his time for time being. Still, 60 laps to go. We got a fair amount of time for things to play out here.
And one more pit stop, but it's also something to keep in mind that, Parker White, it would be easier for somebody like Parker White to make its way through the field if we were more bunched up. Like, say, if there were double file restarts. Single file restarts, everybody spread out more. It's a lot harder. Pick up a lot of spots at once.
And on board as they're trying to get past the lap car of Jonathan Oshlin.
He is 13 laps down. He rides on board with somebody. Parker White, I think. Yep. Oh, loose.
Big wiggle. Yeah, you heard the RPMs kick up there off turn number 2. And you hear right there just how aggressive he was getting back on the throttle. Usually when you get through the run, you have to kind of play with that throttle before you can fully get back in it, but not Parker White there.
Side by side, this is Plessel and David L. Brown for 8th. Just up the road from these guys. Got Akabueze there as well.
Akabueze has done a good job. He's been involved in a few tonight, but so has basically the rest of the field. Lucas Plessel, another guy, he had worked his way up to P3 at one point. Was the first car on fresh tires, just had a bad restart and kind of put him towards the back end of the top 10 where he's ridden since. A good opportunity for a lot of these guys to collect some points and maybe for a few guys to battle for a win here.
And Akabueze's really had an up and down season. He's had some good runs. Just hasn't necessarily had the finishes to show for it. First career top 10 at FTF, 9th last week at Road America. Before that's his best 16th at Atlanta. Right now, he runs 8th, which would be a season high.
And got to wonder how aggressive. I mean, just looking in the top 5 right now, guys like Daniel Buttafuoco especially, he's been just super consistent so far this year. Has a few bad finishes thrown in there. Last 4 weeks.
Kevin gets into Parker White, and they're going to crash. We got 2 cars sideways, and there's no caution as the field is flying by.
That's big there for both of them. And again, I'm not sure why that wasn't a caution, because they were both sideways in the middle of the track. Parker White, I thought, was going to include Falkingham. You'll see the replay right here.
Yeah.
Just gets loose in a little bit of contact. Look at Parker White. Slides back in front of the track. Falkingham has to take evasive maneuver there.
And you saw Nick Miller go flying by as well. I'm not even sure he lifted down the back straightaway. Just hung a left and hoped for the best as they were sliding around down the back straightaway. Okay, he did lift a little, but man, oh man. You had guys not lifting through there, and I mean, 2 cars sitting in the middle of the racetrack like that.
Yeah.
They're lucky that a bigger pack wasn't on the way. Otherwise, that could have been really ugly.
I understand, because, I mean, we've had so many cautions tonight, but also you can't...
Is that the rule?
I know, you can't stray away from consistency there, I don't feel like, but...
Right.
Right now, trying to get through lap traffic is leader Michael Guest, as he's to the inside of Juan Jimenez right now. Buttafuoco still trying to chase him down, and again, right before that incident with McAdams, Buttafuoco does not have a win yet this season, but he still managed to find himself top 5 in points tonight. Could be a chance for him to finally lock himself in to the playoffs with a victory.
Yeah, Buttafuoco only has 2 finishes outside the top 15 this year. 4, and they're both plate tracks. 42nd at Atlanta, 41st at Talladega. Outside of that, his worst finish was at Kansas a couple of weeks ago, 14th. Season high of 3rd back at the Rock.
Yeah, it's just been so consistent this season, and to a lesser extent, but somebody who still finds himself in the playoffs right now is 5th place Matthew Zwack, who has not yet won this season and could very well put himself in the seat 2. Depends on how these last 48 laps play out. See Matthew Zwack right there sitting a solid top 5 performance here tonight.
He's had a solid year, all things considered. 9th in the points. Pair of top 5 finishes. 4th at Texas, 5th at Talladega. 15th last week at Road America. Oshlim is pitting. That's why you see him there a little off the pace. And then decide to bring it to pit road. To remember, everybody should, and Sean can correct me if I'm wrong here, but everybody should have to make one more pit stop to make it to the end.
And I mean, the most we've seen under green flag conditions was Parker White when they were in the middle of that 5-car battle for the lead. And Parker White was about 51, 52 laps, I believe, into that stint. So we are about 6 laps away from, again, the longest that we've seen. And again, that was aided by a caution flag, which we may not have for a considerable amount of time at this point with how just spread out everybody is.
Jack Mace is going to be pitting this time. He's in 8th. So I believe the window is open as far as pitting. Dylan Bason's on pit road.
Oh, here comes Guest.
And you've got the 13 as well. So both Botafuco and Guest make their way to pit lane. Andy Margo's going to be pitting this time. Aaron Riolo is in. Akabueze, Mace, Brandon Hawken. Here comes Jackson Carr. He's in the top 15. So the leaders making their call to pit road, and that leaves Frisch. He will stay out for yet another lap, as will Kevin King. Matthew Zwack will head to the pit lane.
Just looking for clean stops for everybody here this late in the race. I mean, we've seen what happened to Parker White, where his one off-cycle stop really cost him about 20 spots, all things
Frisch is
considered.
pitting this time. Oh, boy.
Oh, he's coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Locked up. He's clean. Right now, Michael Guest has about a second lead over Daniel Botafuco. That's the race for the provisional win right now.
Everybody else.
Scoring is having a moment.
Yeah.
I was hoping I wasn't the only one that saw that. It's doing that on mine too.
Okay, there we go. Now that
Yeah.
Guest took the lead, it fixed itself. Botafuco's about a second back and is trying to close.
My timing said Guest was on lap 201 of his stint, and I'm like, that's not right.
Botafuco now 8/10 back, so he's 2/10, almost 3/10 a lap faster that last time by. He is closing in on Michael Guest. Botafuco is trying to pick up his first win of 2023. And I'm sure he would love for this thing to stay green the rest of the way. Try and put up a shot against Guest, who already has a win this year back at Auto Club.
And you see Zwack back here as well. Botafuco and Guest have really done a great job. You see Zwack right there with the rest of that pack. Michael P. Frisch actually getting a little bit of a shove from Riolo right there, trying to get underneath the lap traffic of Chris Wetz.
Inside 40 to go.
Daniel Botafuco, fastest car on the track that last time by. He's trying his best to reel in Guest. He's already cut the lead down to half a second.
He is closing in a hurry. Question is he using his stuff up too much to get to Michael Guest?
I like this aggressive push from Daniel Botafuco at this point. I mean, it's been a trend not only throughout this race, but the season that usually we get a late race caution at some point. On board with him right now. We'll be able to listen to him throughout this corner just to see how truly aggressive he's being throughout the corner.
Could be saving some fuel as well, clutching the race car.
He is on the clutch right there. You hear that? Doesn't surprise me, though, with how important track position has proven to be. If we do get into a situation where we add a few extra laps at the end of this race, even going under green here, might want that extra assurance. And even with clutching, he is still reeling in number 9 car, Michael Guest, right now.
Miller, the lap car, up to the wall, out of the way. Another lap car just up the road. That's Kevin McAdams. It's all the contact that he had with Parker White that did not bring out the caution flag.
Doesn't sound like Guest is clutching at all. So we were heard Buttafuoco was, but I'm on board with Guest right now, and he is not. So he should be okay. Maybe using the draft from Kevin a little bit to help him, but looks like he is good to go on fuel. So this is interesting with fuel strategy here. We know these two guys in the front maybe are close on it, but I was looking at guys like Kevin King, Michael Frisch that pitted a little later. They should be fine with fresher tires. So we're going to see how this plays out, but this race is, in my opinion, still far from over.
Here comes Buttafuoco. The gap down to 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, I don't know if Guest is just trying to sit in the draft right now or if he's had trouble getting around. Buttafuoco is here, though. Closer than it was before the set of stops.
That is true. That's interesting, though, that Buttafuoco saving fuel and is still faster than Guest.
I mean, he's not...
Help. Well, it was going to help Guest, the fact he was going to get the draft off of Kevin McAdams, but he'll pass him.
Nobody said the game makes sense all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Doesn't sound like Buttafuoco's clutching anymore. I'm still listening on. Guest definitely isn't. Buttafuoco, he's only clutching going into the corner, so he might be using it to maybe slow down quicker, but he's back to just going normally, I guess. We can hear it here. He's still normal throttle input, so no more clutching for Buttafuoco, so maybe just had to save a lap or two just in case there's a green-white checker. Knowing FTF, there probably will be, but you know, it doesn't hurt to be prepared for it, so you can get an edge on everybody. So maybe you won't have to pit that last time. Who knows?
Yeah, that's my thinking as well here for Daniel Buttafuoco. I think, again, with how important track position has been, if we get overtime, then maybe he wants to skip that last set of stops. We'll see if it works out either way. He was on pace chasing down Michael Guest, but might be in some trouble now without any lap traffic to really aid him.
Trying his best. Lap times were just about even between those two that last time by. We'll see what they are this time with 30 laps to go here from Charlotte. Advantage that time to Guest, just barely.
Buttafuoco doing a great job of staying right on that blue line. And again, both these guys running the inside lane right here. He's got a run on him.
Shouldn't have any lap traffic for the next little while. The next they'll have is for position between Cabrera and Dylan Basin. They are currently side by side.
Yeah, Buttafuoco right now, he is sacrificing corner entry to try to get that better exit. He is just letting off earlier than Michael Guest right now. It's allowing him to rotate that corner earlier, get back on the throttle sooner. And even though they're both running that inside lane, it's allowing Buttafuoco to get back out and have the momentum on the straights.
Guest again, still faster that last time by. A little wiggle out of Guest. Off of turn 2. Seems like Guest is stronger down the front straightaway and off turn number 4. While Botafuco has the advantage off 2 and down the back.
And I'm really surprised we haven't seen Botafuco at least experiment with running the middle or the higher lane. Because right now you are just sitting in Michael Guest's wake. I think he's going to have to try something if he's really wanting to get around him here.
Running out of laps as well, just 25 laps to go.
I'm thinking maybe too, Jacob, that we heard him clutching earlier, but if he can stay this close behind him, not run full throttle, maybe he's still trying to save fuel. Maybe he did short fuel it on his pit stop. We don't know. But maybe he's just employing that strategy, just kind of stay behind Guest, maybe save his right rear tire a little bit, to kind of prevent it from sliding off the corner that much. So we don't know until we see it. But here's the lap car, Nick Miller, and he's going to hopefully get out of the way here, and he does. So Guest will easily pass him. Botafuco will follow suit, but really trying to figure out what Botafuco is trying to do. It seems like he can easily pass him. He's got the draft on his side, but no clue what the strategy is here. But we'll see as this thing plays out. Hopefully, we don't have a caution that comes out and ruins this run.
I think you're onto something there, Sean. I mean, I think this has to be deliberate at this point. You see he's peeking to the outside, peeking down to the inside.
There he goes.
Side by side through turn 1. And this is where we saw him struggling earlier. He was side by side with Parker White. Guest going to get that run off the corner, propelling him.
Remember we saw Botafuco with a great battle earlier side by side with Parker White, but Botafuco struggled on the bottom of the racetrack, and there was oftentimes contact. Still sideways off turn 4. Michael Guest able to get clear for a moment, but Botafuco able to side draft, pull him back, and they're back to wheel to turn 1.
These guys don't look like they're going to be not side by side anytime soon. Guest especially so hard to pass, especially in this car at this racetrack. He's been so fast all race, I know firsthand. But Botafuco throws it into turn number 3. Guest going to use the side draft, pull him back a little bit, upset the rear of that car, and Botafuco struggling for grip on the outside, or inside I should say. And both of these guys, they are not giving into each other at all. And we could see this could maybe let the guys that pit a little later, Michael Frisch, the gap back to them is now 4 seconds from Frisch to Guest and Botafuco right now. So if these guys stay side by side long enough, it could maybe allow Frisch, Swack, and Kevin King to maybe kind of gain a little extra ground on.
Botafuco drives it in really deep. Can Guest pull him back on the outside?
No, got him.
Clear.
Wow.
Daniel Botafuco takes the lead.
Not yet.
With 20 laps to go. Here comes Guest fighting back. Contact! They keep it pointed in the right direction. Guest drives it in hard on the outside of the racetrack. Botafuco keeps his foot in on the bottom. Still side by side for the lead. Leaning on each other down the back straightaway. Trying to side draft each other back to each other as they make their way to turn 3.
Here comes Guest again, and with how hard Daniel Botafuco has to send it on entry, it really compromises his exit speed, and that's where you see that momentum for Michael Guest. They're still side by side down the front stretch going into turn number 1. Anybody's race right now.
Still wheel to wheel. There is lap traffic ahead. It's Dylan Basin. Remember, he has damage. I'd imagine he'd get the heck out of the way. Bobble there from Botafuco. He'll side draft Guest back to him.
Oh, boy,
down the back straightaway. More contact. They keep it pointed in the right direction. Rubbin's racing right now between the 9 and the 13. Still side by side off turn 4. At the line, give it to Guest.
And you see Guest go really wide off of turn number 4 there, trying to break that side draft that Botafuco's using, but Botafuco just doing a great job on the bottom. It's so hard to keep the momentum up in these cars if you're trying to pass somebody on the bottom. Botafuco's got the edge right now. Guest can again use that side draft down the back to get ahead. And Jacob, none of these guys, it seems, can pass each other, even if they wanted to right now.
Michael P. Frisch is faster than both these cars. Problem, he's 3.5 seconds back. Buttafuoco almost had him cleared. More contact, trying to side draft and trying to prevent the side draft. Huge run from Guest down the front straightaway. They're still wheel to wheel to turn number 1.
Completely mano-a-mano right now, and that's exactly the point I was going to make, Jacob. Michael P. Frisch, last time we checked in, was about 4.5 seconds back. They've already closed in a second as they're still making contact down the backstretch. Michael P. Frisch, Kevin King, and that gang all still in this race as they are closing in on both these leaders as they're still side by side off turn number 4.
Buttafuoco will lead at the line. Guest will pull him back. Lap traffic within 5 car lengths of the top 2. Where will they go since the leaders are using just about every inch of the racetrack? Way up the hill is Guest. Buttafuoco's clear. New race leader at Charlotte.
Guest tried that really high line to get the momentum off the corner, but it just doesn't look like it's working right now. It kind of faded. It was better in the daytime when the track was slicker, but now that the track is cooled down, it might not be there.
Here we
Guest
go.
looks to the inside, and this battle is restarting. Guest to the inside looking, Buttafuoco to the middle, Buttafuoco trying to hold him off, and here we go again.
And trying to avoid lap car of Basin to the outside. Guest to the bottom. This is where Buttafuoco was able to work him over and get by. Buttafuoco with the advantage on the high side. He is clear. Can he hold the line on the bottom? No. Guest pulls back to the inside. They'll go back side by side, coming to 14 laps to go.
That was a big block from Daniel Buttafuoco down the backstretch. Gave it back. Michael Guest going to wiggle just a little bit off turn number 4. They're still side by side. But Buttafuoco is going to try to clear himself at any opportunity. Doesn't quite get it there. Guest back down to the inside. Does he have enough to stick? I don't think so.
Oh boy, he washed it up the racetrack, but Buttafuoco again, a great launch, almost clear. Guest pulls him back down the back straightaway. More lap traffic ahead. Oshalem and David Cabrera, they both go up the hill. This could be dicey coming off turn 4. Oshalem's going to be right in the way of Buttafuoco. There's contact 3 wide. Buttafuoco, I don't think lifted. They're still leaning on each other to turn number 1. With now 13 laps to go.
Well, there's no lifting at this point. Even if the lap cars are there, you might just have to go straight through them. Buttafuoco was pleading with the lap cars to please get out of the way, and they did a good job. But what a turn 1 and 2 by Buttafuoco. He clears Guest going down the back straightaway, and Guest is going to have to start all over again. What approach is going to take this time? Gets right to the back, but Buttafuoco might be too strong off the corner. Guest got the run off. Here we go again, round number 3.
Out of control these two guys are. 13, make it 12 laps to go. Frisch is still some 2.5 seconds back. I'd imagine it's going to come down between these two, Guest and Buttafuoco. Still side by side. Loose on the bottom is Guest. And Buttafuoco can't quite get a good run on the outside because he had to avoid that 9 car coming back up the racetrack. They're still side by side through turns 3 and 4, coming back to the start-finish line. We'll have 11 laps to go. You've also got Kevin McAdams and David Cabrera right behind. We'll see if they have any impact on the 2 leaders.
And if they continue to lean on each other, I think Michael P. Frisch might be a contender for this race win. Still 11 laps to go, and they are side by side. Michael Guest going to try to use that side draft as he has before. Big block from Daniel Buttafuoco as they go down the backstretch. Still, Michael Guest is there on the inside. They're side by side. Coming out of turn number 4, it's Daniel Buttafuoco. Will he have that run like he has?
If you're Buttafuoco, though, you can't defend that bottom side too much because if you go down there and you try and lift for the corner, Michael Guest very likely will run you over, knowing that he can drive it in deeper down there. Still side by side, Buttafuoco in the middle. You've got Guest on the inside. They're trying everything they can with 10 laps to go. What a battle for the win.
And the way the arrow is in this car, it is just so hard to shake your opponents off you, especially for battling like this. Kevin McAdams has a front row seat to this. He's got the best seat in the house if you want to go on board with him. But there's just no stopping. The side draft is just so strong in these cars. And Buttafuoco is going to have to do something as he goes wide into the turn number 1. Guest is going to clear him. How is the run going to be for Buttafuoco? Off the corner, gets loose, and Guest is clear.
Michael Guest retakes the lead of the World 600K here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming to 8 laps to go. Did Daniel Buttafuoco burn up his tires too much? Trying to catch Michael Guest in the opening part of the run and burn up the tires too much, trying to hold him off when they got back side by side. Buttafuoco's going to have 8 more laps to try and set up the 9 and make another shot for the win.
And how aggressive is he going to get with 8 laps to go? Again, has not visited victory lane yet this season. Would love to lock himself into the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series playoffs. The only thing standing in between him and a dub right now is Michael Guest, as he still tries to chase him down as they come out of turn number 4. Give it to Michael Guest, about a 2/10 advantage.
Seven laps to go. Your top 2, relatively even, about 2/10. That last lap, Guest just a hair faster. Perhaps, Sean, we're seeing the 13 back at the tires a little bit, save for another last gasp with about 4 laps to go. I know you were in a tense battle here at Charlotte. Different race car, Gen 4 a couple of months ago. Now it's in the next gen.
Same premise, though. I mean, I think that's exactly what you're seeing from Botafuco. He was on the top side for a long time. I think Guest, by design, tried to get himself to the bottom. Maybe gave up the lead when Botafuco was side by side, just so he can cross him over and get to that bottom lane and save his tires just that much more. And it looks like that's what's happening. Botafuco might need to take 1, maybe 2 laps to kind of cool those tires down. He still has the draft, which is going to help him kind of hang with Guest, but I mean, you guys have seen Guest every Tuesday in the Coke Series. He knows what he's doing in these cars, especially going to be so tough to pass. And Botafuco's got to kind of reload and cool those tires down and go for one last lunge here as we're coming down to the final few laps here at Charlotte. But one last effort from Botafuco. What does he have left in those tires?
See what he can get. He's been a tick slower than Guest, about 1 or 2 hundredths a lap slower since he has fallen behind the 45. Rather than 9. He's trying everything he can right now. Seems like Botafuco again is stronger on the back end of the racetrack. Guest is stronger coming off turn 4 down the front stretch. Botafuco is stronger coming off turn 2 down the back stretch. 4 to go.
And I think if you're Daniel Botafuco right now, I think you're going to need a wiggle out of Michael Guest at some point, which is entirely possible with how out of control they have been. But right now, they are retaining about that 2/10 of a gap, and you see he's able to cut into it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's going to have something happen to Michael Guest where he's able to get side by side and use that side draft, because that's what was keeping them side by side for so long here with 3 laps to go.
And with 3 to go, unless there's significant contact, I don't see Michael P. Frisch having a way to get to the win. He's still just about a second back from your top 2. Guest continues to widen this margin out just a hair over Daniel Botafuco. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Botafuco has to turn it up now, and he is continuing to lose ground to the 9. 2 laps to go.
I think those tires might just have had all they can handle on the 13. If Frisch has about 10 more laps, he might be a factor in this thing. He's been a lot faster than Guest and Botafuco. But right now, unless there's just something happens to Guest or something, his power goes out or something, I think this one might be going in the win column for Guest. Botafuco gave it all he had, and those tires just couldn't hold up the length he needed them to. But off at turn 4 to get the white flag, Michael Guest getting the white flag, 1 to go.
1 more lap to go here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the World 600K. Michael Guest looking to go back-to-back in this long race at Charlotte. Last year's race, well, the broadcast eclipsed 3 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to do something similar tonight. But Guest, maybe not the fastest car all night long. Fastest when it matters the most. And off turn 4 for the second time this season, Michael Guest is going to victory lane. He wins the FTF.GG World 600K from Charlotte.
And what a finish here from Charlotte. I mean, side by side for that entire last stint between Botafuco and Michael Guest, all over each other, and a great day for Botafuco as his streak of consistency is going to continue, but Michael Guest getting it done. Michael P. Frisch in this top 3 as well. Man.
Great stuff across the board. And for what started as the longest night ever, we had an incredible battle for the last 30 laps.
Listen, we were thinking this was going to eclipse the caution record set at Martinsville here 2 years ago with 34 cautions. We were on pace to do it, but they weeded them all out, and we eventually got that long green flag run to the end. But what a great run to the finish. What a great battle between Buttafuoco and Guest. Really great job by both of those guys. They trade a little bit of paint, but for the most part kept it clean, and Guest was able to come out on top. So definitely a well-deserved win for Michael Guest. We're amazed, but we're not surprised seeing Guest in victory lane in FTF competition. So add another one to the record book for him. But overall, just a great night of racing. First half of the race we're going to forget. Second half, definitely a very good run.
Guest now ties Kyle Riley for 11th all-time.
Wow.
In FTF Cup Series victories. He leapfrogs Ryan Williams and Michael P. Frisch, who he was in a tie with, for 7th. Your results, unofficially, by the way, Jamie Ritchie Price nails it with the Mike Joy quote, "Boy, that was worth staying up late for." Guest your winner, Buttafuoco 2nd. Michael P. Frisch finishes 3rd. Kevin King, nice rebound for him. He finishes 4th. Matthew Zwack with a top 5 finish after starting 37th. Hamilton Akabueze there in 6th. Aaron Riolo finishes 7th. Nice run filling in for Sebastian Marin. Jack Mace with the top 10 in 8th. Brandon Hawk in 9th. And Ryan Doucette, I swear he wrecked like 7 times tonight. He comes home in 10th.
Yeah, looking on back, Lucas Plessel going to come home in the 11th position. David Brown, another guy. Great rebound for him, coming home 12th. Justin Malillo in 13th. Parker White, dominant car that first half of the race, really, coming home 14th after a stop trapped him in the backpack. Daniel Falkingham in 15th. Jackson Carr 16th. Ryan Naraki coming home 17th. That's it for your lead lap cars. Kevin McAdams in 18th, 1 lap down. David Cabrera in 19th. And rounding out your top 20 is Dylan Basin, who nurses that car home to a top 20. Great run for him.
Look at Andy Margot in 21st. So good run for Andy there. Ryan Pandicio, 22nd. Chris Wetz, 23rd, 4 laps down. Jonathan Oceanlimp, 24th. Nick Miller, 25th. Juan Jimenez, 26th. Some Idiot in 27th. Ethan Corder, 28th. Brian Mercurio, 29th. Wyatt Tinsley, Jacob, will round out the fast 30.
Blake Bryant finishes in 31st. He had a good car tonight until he wound up on his head on the front straightaway 135 laps ago. Scott Healy, 32nd. Malik Ray, 33rd. Cosmin Yoneshu, 34th. Santiago Tires, 35th. Isaac Gann, 36th. Spencer Burns, 37th. Lawson Peel, 38th. Spencer Ray, 39th. Nate Stewart, 40th. And we're deep in the used car lot here. Final 4, Johan Seminario, 41st. AJ Green, 42nd. Kalnick's 43rd. And poor Briar LaPrade completed 1 lap tonight before heading to the scrapyard. That's your field of 44. Whew.
Exhale.
Yeah. What a night. Well, we got some people to talk to. How about your winner first? In Michael Guest, 2nd win on the season, 2nd year in a row you've won the World 600 here in FTF. And you may not have been overall the fastest car on the racetrack, but you avoided the most carnage, and you were the fastest guy at the end when it mattered the most. Take us through that battle there with Daniel Buttafuoco. It was a lot of fun to watch from upstairs.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I always enjoy these longer races, especially if we're able to go green eventually. It took us 120 laps, but we got it eventually going, and I got a few EOLs during the race, so
We had a fun one.
Yeah, getting back up to the front was just going as hard as I could and hoping for more cautions, and luckily I timed that about perfect, because right when I ended up front, that's right when we started going green finally, so I honestly thought I had it going on to that last run. I was able to pull Daniel a little bit, and he was pulling in or staying in the draft, but I didn't think he could get close. And then something happened on that last run, like I just wore my rears out, and he just got right to me, and as soon as I started running side by side on the outside, I knew it was trouble. Doing that for 10 plus laps, I knew my only shot was to try to hopefully get him on the outside and do the same thing. I'm not sure if that actually wore his tires out or not, or if it just got to that point in the run where we just weren't loose anymore. But I'm glad it worked out for me at least.
Looking ahead, we've got Nashville next week. A little bit different than Charlotte Motor Speedway. Your thoughts heading into the Super Speedway next week?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Any any of the normal or anything that's not a normal 1.5 track is always what I just call interesting in this league. So, I mean, it'll be a toss up whether it's a good race or a bad race, but let's just hope for a good one.
Michael, congratulations. We'll let you get to bed since it is past 12:30 on the Eastern Seaboard. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Michael Guest, your race winner tonight here from Charlotte. We'll talk with second. That's Daniel Buttafuoco with Caleb.
And Daniel, that was a hell of a run to the finish there, side by side for most of it. Then Michael Guest, the last 10 laps really got an extra gear on you. Explain what happened from your end.
Man, that was a fun race. I don't know. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully you weren't looking at the battle for 15th or something stupid, because that was a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
All right. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. My goodness. So once I got around Guest the first time on the inside, we had a lap car in front of us, and that kind of hurt my turn. And I think around that point is when I started to lose drive off. I felt like I don't know which tire. Felt like the right rear didn't quite have the same wear it did before. So kind of just lack drive off. When I was on the outside, I kind of knew it was going to take something crazy, because he was just going to get on my left rear and side drive me every time. I tried a higher arc into one, and because I didn't have the drive, he got around me clean, and I just couldn't get anything back. I could keep with him pretty good, but I mean, afterwards it was pretty much done deal. We had a 4.5 second gap, and I decided, we would battle it out there, because we had a gap to where we could afford to do that, and roasted our stuff, but still had a lot of fun. It was a pleasure to race against Mike, and just came up short. We'll get that win though, but I'd say that was probably one of the best races I've run in a while. So it's good. It feels good.
Yeah, trust us. We were dialed into that battle for the last 30 laps.
It was
so much fun,
guys, but yeah, I was just messing, but yeah.
Yeah, and then looking full season wise, only have 2 finishes outside of the top 15 at Atlanta and Talladega, both kind of out of your control. So on pace, you've been so consistent, and looking ahead, just 11 races until the playoffs start. And right now you're firmly inside of them, right now sitting 4th in standings. Is the urgency picking up to get a win, or are you comfortable enough with how you've run so far this season to just keep doing your thing and try to let a win fall to you?
Man, I want to win, right? So, I mean, yeah, definitely a win. I mean, I don't know on points how safe we are, really. I mean, I got to keep putting in those top 10s and those stage points, and we'll probably get there. But I'd like to win just because, the competition's so good. And it's a car that I've been weak in, and I'm trying to learn it. I'm trying to really be good in this car where I could be versatile enough to where I could be competitive, and just trying to kind of just keep putting in the good results and try to prove to myself and others that I can do this. So hopefully we did that today, but it's been a wild race, man. We were like dead last at one point, like 3 seconds behind the pack, or 3 seconds behind the penultimate guy in the field, and I had to work our way up. So it was crazy, but yeah, had a lot of fun, and gonna do what I can to get that win for sure. I'm not gonna lose sight of that, but it'll be hard. It won't be easy.
Well, absolutely. That quest for a win will go to Nashville next week. Congratulations on a hard-fought second place here tonight in the World 600K. Thank you for your time, Dan.
Thank you. Yeah.
That is Daniel Buttafuoco, who finishes second here tonight. Jacob?
All right, let's hear from third place finisher Michael P. Frisch. He's with Sean.
Really? I have to interview this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Unbelievable. All right. So, Frisch, I'll say this. You were almost dead last for the first half of the race. I assume that was by design. And you come out strong in the second half. You've tried to play the strategy. You see them getting bigger and bigger in your windshield. Do you think if you had maybe 5-10 more laps, you would have zoomed on by those guys for the win?
Probably a lap or two. Yeah, I would have been at their back bumper beating it down. That's for sure. But I wish I was a part of that brawl because it looked really fun up there. I don't know. It just really sucks finishing third, honestly. Come up short the last few races. We've been there, nail biting at it, and it's just we've been coming up short.
It's okay. You'll be fine. You did better than me. I'm not sure that's a consolation or not, or very difficult, but you still got a good podium finish out of this. honestly crapshoot of a race, at least in the first half. You got through the minefield. So how do you take this momentum into Nashville, one of our favorite racetracks on the service? I can't think of any better racetrack to go to next than Nashville Super Speedway. So how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for that race?
I hate the track, but my driving style
come on.
My driving style likes the track. Last year I think I got the pole there somehow, some way. And we won the Winter NIS 87 race there. So I don't know. I hate it with a passion. I do not like it, but it just fits my driving style when it comes to on the tire there, I guess. I don't know. I just drive it and we go fast.
It's okay.
But
it's a Nissan used car dealership parking lot for a reason, so I understand you.
But I'm probably gonna have to visit the county jail tonight because I think I have attempted murder coming to the tri-oval.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I didn't think that was on you, but then I saw it. I was like, was that on Frisch? You just destroyed Blake Bryant.
Okay. In my defense, I'm 3 wide with Brian and somebody above me, and then all I see is a Maconi car swing from the top lane, head into the grass, and then he came back up in a split second. So, listen, my ride was not that bumpy. A few others had a pretty bumpy ride. I'm sorry.
If they call me the unhinged maniac, they better call you something after that.
Hey, didn't you get spun out on pit road tonight?
Yes, I did, and I bobbled and accidentally wrecked Brendan Hawkins. So it was,
he died in tri-oval too.
It was a rough. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. It was a rough night for me, but not so rough night for you. Congratulations on this 3rd place finish, Michael. Very well deserved, and I can't wait to see what you do at Nashville Super Speedway, your favorite track.
Thank you.
Is this it? Here's the replay of the incident. There you see it.
Oh, I can't watch. Man. I can't watch.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe Zach's computer could watch that again.
I know. I'm surprised Zach's computer's just not exploded yet. Blake landed on top of Kevin McAdams, and Kevin still finished the race.
The moment he split sideways off my nose, I knew the field was going to be in for a ride. Listen, it's not as bad as Doucette or somebody got hit on lap 1 and caused the big one. That was a little more embarrassing. But
Zach didn't go on board with me for this wreck. I had an interesting view of this. I was in front of it. Never mind. That was a previous wreck. But I saw this in my mirror, and I saw Blake helicoptering around. And I'm like, what in the world happened in that? And then I looked on the replay. Moment. I looked on the replay, and he's spitting off your bumper. I'm like, Frisch, what did you do? The man has a family. Here we go. There's your onboard.
Yikes.
Comes down and comes up. You got loose, man.
You almost wrecked Brian.
If gap car. He did wreck Brian.
God.
Yeah, Brian was along for a ride too.
We'll come up with a name for you to fit my unhinged maniac, nickname. We got to come up with something for you. I'm sure Travis can handle that. But Frisch, thanks for joining us, man. We'll look forward to seeing you next time at Nashville Super Speedway. In the meantime, good luck with all the whatever Road to Pro series stuff you're doing.
Yeah, sweating my ass off, but no, thank you guys, FTF and everybody up in the booth, North Force Racing and Barr Visuals for giving me a beautiful car every week and everything he does at the track. Does amazing shit. But no, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Whoa!
Swearing on the broadcast is Michael.
Yeah, you know what? That's Dale Jr. got a points penalty and a fine for that. I think we may have to invest in something similar.
Unbelievable. Back to you, Jacob. Jesus.
Final thoughts from the longest night at Charlotte this month. I've seen worse. Blake's World 600 comes to mind, but man, oh man.
Hey, that last half of that race was so much fun. The battling that we had with the 5-6 cars under a blanket, all for the lead. The back and forth that we saw between Michael Guest and Daniel Buttafuoco. I don't know if I would sit through the first half of that race again, but at least I got something at the end of it there. That was so much fun to sit back and watch.
I'd pretty much echo that too. I mean, the first half was kind of a stinker, just wrecking like crazy. If you're a fan of wrecks, you got your money's worth in the first half of that race. But if you're a fan of great strategy calls and side-by-side close, just crazy side-by-side racing, you got what you're looking for in the second half of that race. So great job by everybody that finished the race, and to everybody that wrecked, including myself. We got to be better, for next time. I was messing around with Kevin and them, and when I said after I wrecked, when I said when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, just want you to know I gave you everything I had. Gave you everything I had, in the famous words of Shannon Sharp. But no, great
Yeah,
race. Great race overall. Nashville has got a lot to live up to with this one. I don't think we're going to see it. I could be wrong. I hope I am. But overall, very good race. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
A race occurred here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, that's for sure. We are back next week from Nashville. The good news is I can start watching NASCAR again because NBC takes over.
Oh my goodness.
Look,
Is he wrong?
If
He's not.
exactly. The viewer experience is so much better. My best advice: go to the racetrack in person the first half of the year. Watch from home the second half of the year. Winstell, though. You'll see that here tomorrow, later tonight at 8 o'clock. Core is Monday night, also known as tomorrow night from Kansas, 8:45 p.m. I'll be live with the pre-race show. The race starts around 9. We're back again next week from Nashville. A long night from Charlotte, but a great finish. In the end, Michael Guest picks up his second in a row at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We see you next week from Nashville. For Zach Johnson, our producer, Sean Butler, Caleb Hoffman, I'm Jacob Pitts. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Good night.